And let's take a look at the roster here as we get into it.
It's coming home, dude. I really believe it. I think they've showed some incredible synergy over the past couple of weeks. They've really pulled it. We had a really interesting interview with some of the UK players. I believe it was Xander and Klein, if my memory strikes me correct there.
Mhm.
And I learned a lot about the way that they organize the calls and how they play the game, and basically what their teamwork strategy is. And the points reflect it. We actually have some stats here available, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, about individual player stats. So, like the point scorings, the averages, the amount of events that they've played this season, and stats for the baggers as well. So, I'm actually interested to hear about that. I know you've been collecting those.
Absolutely. Yeah, we have and I apologize. These numbers are off. This does not do Xander justice. Xander does not have a 33-point average. Xander has a 42-point average, and that is across every single game that he has played. This graphic does not do him justice. Xander has been popping off. He's been someone that has been unmatched in his averages. And Sean, you talk about Sean, an incredible player, right? I think a lot of people could go on and on and on about the kind of player Sean is and what they provide to a team. But 33 compared to the 42 that Xander actually has. You also have Luke, Fleury, very formidable in their own right. And Jazz, of course, in the back. That number you see there is the average of shocks per GP, averaging at around 2.48. Pretty notable. And we'll have max numbers to compare to it soon. But this is the roster starting up for game one. We have been given notice that there might be a roster change between games or whatever. But this is the roster as is. Brawley, thoughts on this roster? Thoughts on the numbers here, maybe even?
I think it's super strong, and I'm honestly not surprised by the numbers. We've seen Xander kind of pop off usually when he's playing, so a 42 though is kind of insanely high. Not
Yeah.
gonna lie, but it was kind of expected from Xander. He's like their in-game leader. He's kind of the one that does the scoring for them. So not surprised to see. I was expecting maybe like a 38, 39, but 42, man, crazy stuff from Xander. But Sean not falling far behind with a 33. Also kind of I expected him to be kind of that second highest scorer. So overall, really high point averages for this team in general throughout this whole tournament. And Jazz averaging 2.5 shocks per GP is also no laughing matter. So overall, just a really formidable team. And, they've also built some chemistry together, playing together throughout this tournament, as they've kept usually the same five together. So play really well together, really good at scoring, and excited to see how they do in this match.
Averaging 42 per GP, to put that into perspective, if you get third every single race, you don't hit 42.
Yeah. Exactly.
So that's practically almost second and third every single race, consistently top three. I think that speaks volumes. That is massive, huge.
And talking about it's almost unfair to compare other averages, but they've played. What is it? They had Germany in the group stages, right? Which is obviously a very difficult match, and they still went well. I think that was Xander's worst performance, getting 89 or something, and that's still very good for a team in that kind of close matchup. But you talk about the bracket path they had here. They 2-0'd both of their opponents, Canada and Japan. So they have less games played. You notice that Fleury had 12 GPs played. But still, very, very notable and commendable effort. Now, let's take a look at this USA East roster. We have some mainstays here talking about, Sean, Edison, Casper, Ken, Mac, all players that you might be very familiar with at this point if you've been watching for a while, and if you haven't, start getting familiar. We're going to be having Casper's perspective as the one to follow in this match, as well as potentially Sean and some others. But y'all, these are the stats we have here. Casper averaging around 35 points with a World Cup leading 27 GPs played, in the max amount possible for anyone to have played at this point in time. Sean close behind him, Ken close behind him, Edison close behind him. When you talk about the USA East roster, Broly, I feel like we've talked about it, but how stacked this roster is, top to bottom, is really
It's
probably
so
the most
balanced.
commendable part, right?
Yeah, definitely. And, looking at them, we see the depth, the absolute depth that they have. They're able to rotate a couple people here and there to take over that fourth or third spot that they need. Casper, kind of that one person that shines among the rest in terms of scoring. Also kind of an in-game leader, I would suspect. But Sean and Ken and Edison also, like, they're just overall a very balanced team. Like I said this before, Casper maybe has one step above the others, but the rest of them have really good team play. They've scrimmed a lot together, have really good chemistry, and overall I think they're going to be doing really well here to take it.
Well, y'all, this might be it. Brawley, can you do your magic, your poll magic? We are getting started here, if we can. For the viewers at home, this is it. We're getting started, and I cannot contain my excitement for this. This has been something we've been waiting for a while now. Race 1 here.
It all comes down to this.
It really, really does. And it'll be Sean's perspective we're starting off with for our races to start here. Now, Maple Treeway, of course, being a popular pick for the 1-3 positions. I believe UK holding on to and hosting, starting with the first place, but it looks like that third place that we typically expect to see go into the shortcut, lose a couple positions temporarily, but get a better item box because of it and zoom on up to a top spot. We're not seeing that. Luke started off in first, but it doesn't really seem like there is too much help around them. So right now, Edison, first place, and maybe Sean backing up that effort, but we'll have to watch out for that red Luke has around Sean right now.
Ooh, so what happened there is that actually Edison, oh my god, Sean accidentally sniping himself with that Nana, but what happened is that Edison was dragging a green or something, and it broke on one of the baggers. So Edison lost his back spam, and he was able to get taken out by Luke, and Luke lost his top spot, and we're seeing UK taking a lot of top spots from that, as we see them in, I believe 2, 3, 4, but yeah, unfortunate. I don't know if it was his own bagger that took out his back spam or the opposing bagger that took it out, but interesting play as Edison getting taken out from the top and losing that front presence.
Yeah, but the most important thing to mention about Maple Treeway is one of the 5 tracks in the game that has a very long duration of the course where you don't even need a power item to dodge the lightning. The cannon, it grants you immunity from the lightning. So even though the Team UK currently occupy a lot of the top spots right now, depending on which bagger has the lightning, they can use it to their advantage lap 3 to get their teammates in that cannon spot, and that will stop them from being shrunk, which will allow them... Ooh, that is not good.
Ooh, that's going
to be... very...
a little difficult for the USA side to take, but what we do notice here, look around us, UK in some bottom spots here, 5, 6, I think, for what we're seeing here. Generally not some positions you want to be holding, but we'll have to stay tuned here. Is there going to be a shot coming in? Of course, that cannon, that pesky cannon, is one that's used so often to dodge teammates in from the lightning bolt, or shock as we call it, but nothing in as of yet. Or no, that's going to be the shock held on Mac's part here, and that's going to be the shock activated just now. That's Sean in the star, able to dodge that one, and with the triple shroom chain is going to be able to move that one up easily. And triple shrooms for him. That's UK in 2-3, but not anymore. Sayonara. USA, I believe, with the top 2 effort here, yeah.
Yes, that is true. Yeah, so top 2 is fantastic, what you want on a track like this. They're going to try and take him out of second if they can, but honestly, I think it's a little too late at this point, as they've got a formidable lead. UK are going to be wanting to get the spots after 1 and 2, so that the race is in their favor if they can help it. Because I do believe the funny thing is, if you get a top 2 but 7-8, it's a losing race. Am I correct in saying this?
No, I think no,
it's narrowly a winning race. I think by like 5 points or something. So so it's still, I think at that point it basically guarantees the win for USA. It's a slight margin if there is not too much damage done after that. But
fair enough.
We'll have to see what the results are.
I think Team USA finished top 2-5. I think I saw Ken also cross. And yeah, that's what we see right there. We see a top 2-5, 8 from Team USA. I believe there was a blue being held as well on the USA side, as we did see it crash down on a UK member at the end. So USA able to run pretty smoothly in first with Casper. He did have some pressure in 2-3 from Team UK behind him, but Mac clutching out the shock. And, it's kind of a 50-50 track there for the shock. Pretty luck-based, as both baggers get to this one item set and are able to sit there. And after that, you just got to hope for it. You got to pray and be like, oh, I'm in 9th place. Maybe I'll get that whatever percent chance it is to get the shock, though. And, luckily for Mac, was able to get it.
It could have been really deadly for UK, too, if it had been yeah, if they got it earlier, because they did have a lot of those spots behind. They also had 2-3, yeah, so they could have very easily, you know, been able, if they had the lightning bolt, been able to shock themselves up and catch up. But that wasn't the case we saw here. And in the meantime, we are going to another track. It's going to be N64 BC we have coming in here. The bagging match here is really interesting. The path we're going back, always a fun one to do if you're a bagger. But for now, we will be keeping our eyes here on Sean yet again Casper, I believe, is we're going to switch to first place. The captain themselves steering their way to victory here throughout the majority of a lot of USA's matches. Casper's been such a consistent force here. It's been a real pleasure watching him play. Obviously known for such insane lines, but beyond that, really smart and kind of original item play and ways to play around the environment that really kind of shows the peak of Mario Kart. I think we were there last week when, what was it, running into a wall to avoid a POW dodge, something like that?
Insane. Absolutely insane. He's kind of like come up with these ways of just, I've never seen, like he did 2 separate things in that last war that I had never seen before, and I was like, wow, this guy has 200 IQ. But yeah, we're gonna see RBC here coming out, and usually we see Casper like in the top 2, which he does end up getting to second here after having a pretty rough start on RBC, to say the least. This track I would say is very good for like trapping corners, getting taken up by a red there by Xander, but gonna be looking to catch up with maybe a golden trip shrooms here. But you know, you kind of want to get a golden in that first set and try to get yourself up there. Sword, what do you kind of think is like the strategy to play for here on RBC?
You really just need to get up there. This track, just consistent 90-degree blind turns. It's fantastic to be in the front. Obviously, the lightning can still do major damage because you've got so many tight, narrow hallways where it can be absolutely fatal. But it's one of the tracks which I honestly think is easier to get a breakaway on. So if you can get your teammates up front and just get them to run, and you can coordinate with your team, like I'm going to drop something here, go a little bit wide, and then that teammate can throw something back as well. And just due to the nature of the turns being as blind as they are, it's just really hard to make it work. Like you're seeing right now on the mini-map in the bottom right-hand corner, just that first place Funky Kong just absolutely steamrolling away out of the competition.
Yeah, I think it's a USA member, as we see Luke, Sean back here, and we did see Xander and Flary as well. So Team USA, I believe it's Ken. I don't think Ken has lost that first place the whole race. Possibly a Team USA member holding that blue shell for him, but as you mentioned before, we do see a fib there. A lot of back spam coming out. You know, you see, I mean, a lot of back spam as we see that Nana and fib as well. So, you know, really good communication from these teams are needed to avoid this stuff. And just kind of the heads up mentality of, you know, listening to your call and making sure that you hear, oh, banana in this corner. Like, you know, some people space out completely and don't notice it and end up hitting it. So, but we're going to see, I think.
Perfect.
1-3-4,
that is.
Yeah, Casper with a great team play there. Stops rolling, but gets hit by a fib there. And it's looking like a 1-3-4-5 right now for Team USA. Shock needs to be huge here at the end.
I don't think it's coming, though. I don't think it's coming.
Think it is.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
And Sean gets hit off at the line, though, and it's going to be an 8th place for him, I believe.
Ooh,
so it's going to be a 1-3-4. I think a 1-3-4 for Team USA. Really good race for them to start out.
Yeah. No, I think what might have ended up happening was maybe USA holding on the Shock. We saw maybe in the distance there a lot of top spots being held by the American roster up in first, second. We did mention Sean falling off, but even then, still with that, they should have been able to, occupy 1-3-4. Sean, unfortunately, unable to keep up with it, but still a USA winning race. Notable for them as we continue into the first GP. So far, USA with the slight edge, both in racing and in Shock. You saw that Casper was the one that had a Mega, was holding on to it, and didn't really have to, they didn't have to call the Shock. In those positions, it's not really advantageous for, if you are already holding on to top spots, already, and you don't want to mess that up. It's very easy to just, simply not, as we say sometimes. So USA going to be able to take the lead here still and maintain that lead.
It just worked out way better for him to not dodge him. We did get a bit of a perspective on Casper's end where he actually put on the brakes on the bridge, and like we commented on the blind turns everywhere. Sean on Team UK was actually goldening around the corner, and he had absolutely no time to react to the fact that Casper had just stopped dead center in the Mega. And if the lightning was used, Casper would have returned to his original size. So it actually worked out wonders for Team US. So they're doing amazing so far.
Yeah, and it's kind of coming off of that. It's those decision-making points, like in that patience that it kind of takes to get your team to that victory. Because you know we see so many people that when their team gets the shock, they feel the absolute need to use it because they think it'll get them that race win. But unfortunately, sometimes you know some shocks are very predictable. Other people are able to dodge it, and yeah, sometimes it doesn't turn out for the best. Now we're going to be going to Peach Gardens. Guys, I think this track is meant for, you know, stopping first set, trying to get shrooms, and kind of running it. Shock can definitely play a good part here in catching up. However, I think if you have a big enough breakaway, you're able to maintain it for sure. And unfortunate Bill in 9th for Mac immediately. And I think it's so common here. I mean, I literally just bagged in a match and the same thing happened to me. I got Bill in 9th in that first set. So a lot of baggers don't opt to go for it, but Xander did have a shroom in first, could possibly have 2 more in first, as that we did not see what place he got a box, and he's not currently dragging anything. And it does appear that he does have 1 more shroom in first, so going to be looking for USA to get multiple blue shells to take him out of this first place.
Yeah, this track's a bit of an interesting one in that, depending on who you ask, it's like, is this a track where you want to get to the front and drive it and just run it, or is it a track where you want to hang back and get something, you know, to dodge it? Much like you mentioned there, Broly, the blue shell coming in strong, but Xander going to be opting to use his mushroom to dodge the blue shell. So that it helps him out for the time being, but that unfortunately means he won't be able to take the shortcut lap 3. Shortcut on this track being fantastic. Really, really clean fit snipe attempts. Almost looked like a upping his kill count there, but unfortunately just not high enough there.
And we're going to see here what's going to unfold here. Lap 3. UK finally having some of the first top spots we've seen, but the shock is going to come in. Casper throwing those bananas just before seems to suggest that they knew that was coming, but it's Sean in the star that's going to follow up. And now UK maybe seeming to have a huge race themselves here. Top 3 for them. Casper, the remaining force for them, and only a TC and a Mega to pull it.
Look at that.
Perfect look. And the POW. That's the important part. You can POW them towards or after the item boxes, or at least slow them down to make sure that they get them into the boxes, but a little bit of a gameplay. Oh no! The bomb finishes
turnaround on that.
And man, this is a huge race for Team UK. They got everything they needed, man.
Luke was holding the blue. Luke was holding the blue. We just saw him fire at the very end there. So that is a top 3-6 from Team UK.
My God. Okay.
Guys, that was insane. Insane item luck. Like
there was so much. Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, go for it. I want you to go for it.
I was just going to say that Sean chained a star, dodged the shock, and got the IS bomb. IS bomb being how your team has like top 3, top 4 spots, and you get a bomb to get their guy in the middle. And that's exactly what they did. I believe it was Ken or someone else from Team USA up there in 4th. Sean chains, gets a bomb, bombs Ken out of there. And then, you know, Casper getting his TC into a Mega, you know, really good luck, you would think, and then gets bombed in the face right after for it. And it's just like
triple red too. The game even gave him a little bit of like a preview, like, oh, this is what you can do, but no, you can't. For those watching that aren't familiar too much with the game, back bombs in this game are atrocious. They are deadly. They are lethal. They have a huge blast radius. If dropped immediately after a turn, if they detect a player's anywhere near it, they'll explode immediately. And that is it. You will lose your item, you'll flip up in the air, and you'll wish that you'd been a few seconds slower in that situation, as we saw for Casper there. Where would you want to take your team if you had top 3-6 now? I have a question for both of you. Because obviously, a large part of competitive that is often overlooked is the way that tracks are voted and who goes where.
Definitely. So, I think I'm going with UK's pick right here, BCW. It's a perfect place to start. You know, you get your first 3, but commentator's curse. You know, I was just about to talk about the track and the dynamics behind it, and now there's absolutely no point. Completely negated by the commentator's curse. Picking the Grumble Volcano.
Classic.
And now we can talk about something else, guys, which is, you know, getting triple shrooms and going for that rock hop shortcut. Guys, would one of you like to explain what this rock hop shortcut entails?
I mean, a lot of things, right? It's essentially... Okay, Grumble Volcano, a very broken track, especially when you're going to get a bomb with all of UK ahead. Casper, what are you thinking? No, that is not exactly what you would like to see from Casper, but that's fine. Still shroom in 6th. Grumble Volcano, chaotic. You have triple shrooms. This is the ideal item. It takes 1 shroom to be able to take a nifty shortcut called the Rock Hop here, which we might be able to see here.
Oh,
no demonstration!
But this situation,
he
didn't make
it. He's gonna make that. No. His position didn't update. Ooh.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Really good situational awareness there to realize, oh, my ground shroom is on the floor, right? I can go and take the other shortcut, which isn't as powerful. Due to the way that the checkpoints in this game work, the respawn area is like directly connected to that wall. So if you land anywhere over there, you actually respawn on that corner. It actually saves time as opposed to going all the way around.
Guys, the commentator's curse was strong with that one. I said, Casper will demonstrate that shortcut for us right now.
You gotta stop doing that, man.
Get bombed immediately.
It's just no good.
I can't believe how real a commentator. Okay, maybe he will demonstrate it for us this time. Please, no curse.
Don't even
No,
say it.
Makes it. There we go.
There we
Guys,
go.
that is
Yeah,
how you
right.
do the rock hop shortcut in Grumble Volcano on Mario Kart Wii. Casper doing a very good job of demonstrating that.
Yeah.
Being rewarded with a 5th place mega for pulling it off. Exactly what you want to see on this track, with UK occupying a lot of the top spots up there. Not
Yeah.
that it matters on Grumble Volcano though, right, Eirik? Like,
No,
occupying
that's
top
the
spot.
thing. Shock can be so devastating. So the 2 shortcuts here, right? We have the rock hop, which isn't available after lap 2, and the respawn shortcut, which you can take a single shroom in, be invulnerable during that time, and get, dodge the bullet during that time. Mega's gonna come out here, maybe to prevent anyone from doing cut. Sean's gonna take the cut. It looks like nothing activated quite yet. Blue Shell is gonna come out, so maybe canceling that if it does come out at all. But in the meantime, USA all in these bottom spots. 3 out of the 4 bottom spots for USA. Blue Shell comes way too late.
Fail for Sean.
We
Team
did see-
UK, the blue.
What happened with Sean there at the end?
The
He got
blue,
blued.
the blue got to him, man. The
Oh,
blue
wow.
went, it's my time to shine. And that was it.
That's incredible, because usually at that point in the race, what we usually see is, the cut not taking you to first without a shock. Usually we see people so far ahead from the rock hop that they're able to negate a lap 3 person taking the cut and usually keep their first. But I'm not sure if first had already crossed the line and Sean, maybe he got blued in like a 2, 3, 4 spot, or if, maybe the blue just actually got him after taking the cut and dropping him off in first. But regardless, we're going to see a 1-4-5-6 for Team USA, a really strong race that they needed to bounce back from that top 3 that they just got.
Can we talk about the point scores right now? Are you seeing this?
Oh,
Am I
yeah.
seeing this? Look at this.
Yeah.
Are you seeing this?
35,
That is
35, 35,
insane.
34, 34. Yeah, this is
Look
incredible.
at this.
Wow.
This is exactly what you
Wow.
would expect to see at this level. An incredibly
Madness.
tight match here to start us off. GP1, match 1. What could we have really expected otherwise? It's
My
been incredible.
goodness.
Actually, when we talk about what we could have expected, one thing to note is that USA and UK had been scrimming, I think, prior to their semifinals match, and they had a lot of close results. Probably, I think you might have gotten a look at some of those.
Yeah.
At those, what were those results like? In terms of differences and how tight these matches were.
Yeah, I think we saw like a total series win for Team USA East. I think it was around like 3 matches to 2. So overall, the matches were pretty close, but we did end up seeing maybe like a 40-point differential, which is kind of big in the game of Mario Kart
Sure.
for the majority of the matches. I think we saw, it was one team maybe get like a big race at the end or something, maybe propel them to that victory, but I do see like a lot of 40-point / 18 to 20-point differences in these matches. So maybe a 5 run at the end kind of costing them like a lot of points for the other team getting shocked, whatnot, and leading to that 40-point victory. But overall, very close in the series, as we did see a Team USA East 3-2 taking it. But so far in this match, it's kind of exactly what we expected. A super close and a back and forth swing in momentum. And we're gonna see Team USA East with an 8-point victory after GP1, which is not anything big at all for Team UK to come back from. And we're gonna see a Koopa Cape pick for Team USA East, as it is a good track to start 2-4-6-8 on, as they're gonna be looking to get some shrooms to get in the front here, guys. That would be my strategy anyways. What would your strat be to win this race?
Well, a green shell certainly doesn't hurt, but especially when the other team gets green shelled immediately after when they're in second place taking the Shroomba shortcut. Oh my goodness,
Nice.
Luke, you madman! And UK takes out Casper's first place immediately, just like that. The Wombo combo coming out on him. Great start for the UK side.
Yeah, as you were saying before, green is definitely not a bad start, especially if they get taken out. But kind of one thing that a lot of people want to do in the front is get that green shell. Usually you don't want to rotate for a certain item in the front. Usually it's like, oh, I'm fine with whatever that protects me as long as it's not a fib that a red can get me on. But for Koopa Cape, there is the Shroomba, where you can snipe the Goomba with the green shell, and out pops a shrimp for you to take that little grass cut. So neat little tricks there that are going to be helping out these front runners get to that first place and kind of maintain their bigger lead. You see Edison actually missing it, which forces him to go into the grass. And, you know, it is kind of common for players to miss it because, you know, maybe somebody in front of you hits the Goomba and then, like, it appears in your face or something and then you spin out. So a lot of instances with that happening, but for now we're going to see UK with a really kind of big top 2 lead, you know, kind of breaking away here. But the rest of the pack is not far behind. And Shock is definitely going to play a huge part here if one of the baggers can get it. We do see them kind of just sitting here waiting to get items. But for now, we're seeing a top 2-4 for Team UK, which is kind of what they want. Sean just opting to chain this Mega here, saying, oh, you know, if we're not going to get Shock, if there's no hope for it, might as well get myself up there. Going to have a red shell here. Edison also using a Bill, so 2 dodges used from Team USA. And landing on that fib for Sean. Going to be taking him out of a top spot.
Casper?
And we see Casper falling off with in a star as well, and he's going to be set back to 8th place, and I think this is going to be a really good race for UK, guys.
Yeah, we saw UK in top 2 before that entire mess, and what was just an 8-point lead for USA before that is maybe surely to crumble here. No dodges coming in here for Casper. There's surely no way he can catch up. You see the mini-map on the bottom right there. There's really not much room to play with here, and with lap 3, of course, okay, Shock is going to come out. It's going to be Mac's Shock that actually comes out at the very end there, so we'll see. Oh, wait, no, it's Jazz's Shock at the very end. Okay, fine. So it's UK able to secure the race, and Casper, no golden for you, no shrimming up for you, and that's going to be it. And UK, I think maybe, possibly top 3-7. That Shock may be preventing them from taking the shortcut there.
Yeah.
Preventing USA,
that's
excuse me.
I think we did see something of, like, 2nd place on the minimap spinning out. I think I did catch a glimpse of that, and UK was top 2 at the time, so maybe one of their players got redded and then somebody took over 2nd, and we do see a 1-3-4 for UK, so somebody did end up taking 2nd, as I believe it was Sean that spun out of that top 2 spot. So maybe they were calling Edison after boxes or something to try to get that 3-4 shrimps, but regardless, really good race for Team UK as they get a 1-3-4-7, kind of clapping back at USA for their race 4 on Grumble, saying, you know, we're here to play, we're here to be strong, and, you know, you guys aren't going to take over here.
Absolutely. I think, you know, with a few races in, it's a little bit intimidating here for the USA side. They had a great, you know, decent start throughout the races here, and now I think we're going to see that lead kind of fall a decent bit, if nothing else. But for now, we're going to wait for course selection to go into play. Almost 6 races into it. Koopa Cape, Jazz getting away with the Shock. It's one of those courses that is difficult for baggers in that you can't loop all the way around. There's that waterfall part that baggers can't go up. And so you end up having that kind of area where baggers kind of have to go for it in 9th or go for a lucky box. They just happen to, by chance, get into 10th. Not a bagger's favorite course. And maybe on the note of people's not favorite courses, but certainly one of mine, Moo Moo Meadows up to the plate here. A very short, chaotic affair we're going to be seeing here.
Don't like cows, Eric?
Oh, I do. I personally do. Yes.
Oh, good.
Yeah, that isn't an issue with me at all by any means, but it might be for some of the players. We'll see as our players starting off. Casper going to do the smart thing of holding back for a 7th place item. What I was going to say is that it is possible to get a dodge in 7th place, that being the star, and I think the Mega ends up getting the star.
Yeah, and you know, this has been a kind of a strong pick for Team USA. They've gone to Moo Moo a lot when they've had bottom spots. And as Eric and I, we both agree on this. You know, we both play for Nightfall, and we're like, oh, we love luck tracks. You know, I feel like luck tracks are really underrated in terms of swinging the tide in wars. You know, sometimes we see a lot of teams picking, like, the more skill tracks and the front-run heavy ones, even when they're behind. Because, you know, it could be a pride thing. They don't like to play these luck tracks and don't want to have to come back on them. But honestly, it's so good for, like, changing the mood, swinging the tide. And we do see Mac with the Shock already on Moo Moo, so already a good tide swinger for Team USA as we're going to see what happens here. We do see a 1-3 right now for Team USA, 1-3-4, or no, sorry, Casper way in the back, still holding the star, and it looks like he's going to have a smooth sailing race here. Hopefully I don't jinx him here, and I don't think I am, as we're going to see him dodging that star, going to be coming up through the cut here. Edison also dodging, so looking like he got a Mega. It's a top 2 right now for Team USA. Going to be hard to get them out here, but, you know, blue shells And he gets the nice low trick there, actually, Casper at the end, but smooth sailing for my man Casper there. Top 2 for Team USA. Larry getting 3rd. Could not see the other spot, but we're gonna see another POV from Sean here. It's looking like a top 2-5 for Team USA as
Don't say that
Sean,
too soon. Okay, yeah,
no, he got it.
Yeah,
He got it. I got it.
Okay, able to clutch that one out just a bit. But yeah, that will be the result of the race, I believe. And now we have a, obviously Mac able to do really well there. What often ends up happening for the bagging match here at the end of the race is that, the item that you get for the first item set when going backwards, if it's a golden, you're set, especially on this track, but in general with bagging. Mac, one way or another, able to get that bolt. Clutching out for his team. They're going to be able to clutch out the top 2 with that shock dodge and 5th place after that. So job well done to them, as we're still the biggest difference we've seen in points. What, like 8, 5? I don't know.
10,
Something surely
10
minimal.
at push. 10 at push, nothing more than 10. It's never swung any harder in one direction or the other.
This is surprising to me. I mean, seeing Mac, I think he's gotten more shocks than Jazz so far. And, we the whole tournament, we've seen it the other way around. Jazz has kind of been an unstoppable force in terms of the bagging. So it's it's nice to see like a fresh change of pace and, having to see Jazz getting challenged a little bit here by Mac, who, is kind of a newer bagger on the scene, like up and coming for sure. But it looks like he more than just up and coming, as he's been going head to head against some of these top baggers and taking a lot of games against them. So Mac putting up a really good fight against Jazz.
Absolutely. We are going to see, I believe, the Sherbetland come in. Of course, we've talked about Sherbetland before, but maybe talk about the benefits of Sherbetland a bit here, Sword, who, you've had a fair bit of experience on this track yourself.
Indeed. No, I love this track. I think this track's great, and I'm really happy to see that it's starting to become more popular among the competitive scene, because people realize that because of its off-road nature. So like all of the ice is off-road, so you've got worse traction, so the bike kind of slides to the side. If you know how to handle that, you've got an inherent advantage over someone that, slip slides all over the place. But in regards to that, like, it's another great track for, power items, stars, goldens, bullets, because you move slower on the ice when you don't have these items. So it's got that dynamic where you can either run it or you can catch up. Brilliant pull there as well, might I add.
Immediate. That might be one of the luckiest things I've seen.
Literally, touch the box as it hit the timer as to when you can get the shot. And the game's like, here you go, bro. Happy birthday.
9th place. 9th place shock immediately. And honestly, I was bagging last week, and that happened to me on Sherbetland too. Immediately shocking.
I told you, Sherbetland is the way. It's the dancing penguin on the platform. It just gives you good luck. That's what it is.
Oh, 100%. We do see a blue shot coming out, landing, I believe, on a Team USA member. I sort of missed that, but Casper going to be holding this in 5th, and it looks like the shock is already used, as we see Mac not with the shock anymore. So curious to see how they use the here. Going to be coming up here. Casper still with this star in 5th, and we're seeing a UK 3-4. I can't see who's in 1st quite yet. We see Ken in 2nd. Could possibly be a UK member. I don't think I've seen Xander yet, so it could be him with a breakaway. But unclear. We're just going to see Casper driving with this star in 5th. So what do you think is kind of the best spot to use the shock here to kind of throw the other team off?
Well, I don't know, because I think Mac actually lost the shock, if I'm not mistaken, based on what I can see. I think Jazz actually, I saw it in the mini-map, I saw the funky spin out. I think he might have actually got him. So in that regard, it's looking kind of unfortunate for US. They're going to have to try and catch up. I think the ending, out of the cave, honestly, like the tide of the race is just so big there. And obviously you got the penguin sliding near the wall, and you got the 2 penguins on the last turn, and just people get shoved off and go for a swim all the time. So this is, I would argue, the perfect place to start. I wouldn't have gone for the box. I would have just opted, but I think he was trying to get Luke, a little bit worried. Incredible bomb, but a little bit too late, it seems. If it had been thrown a pinch earlier, it would have ricocheted off the wall and just completely prevented him from crossing the line. So good attempt, but no dice, unfortunately.
That would have been insane. But I think we do see like a 2-3-4 from Team USA. So I believe that's a pretty big race for them. I'm sure, I think it was Xander who was in 1st. I didn't see him the whole race, so believe it was him who got 1st. Yeah, my bad on that, as Mac did lose the shock. You were right that he spun out. Okay, it was Sean. It was Sean that got 1st. He front ran the whole race.
Gotcha, yeah.
Probably with like a golden or something, got it at the beginning. And that's kind of the strategy that should like kind of you want to get at the start. You know, it's kind of like one of those tracks where you want to trip shrooms or like a golden, something like that to get you to the front. And he ran without a blue shell as well, so we could have seen a possible UK member getting taken out of the whole race because he had to hold the blue shell for his teammate. Which, you know, not as the person holding the blue, you feel kind of useless because you can't really get up there yourself and do good for your team. But in the end, you are doing good for your team and being that team player. So
yeah, you're being mad work at that point. Like as we saw in Peach Gardens, where we saw, you know, the whole of the UK team just striding in their pride up the front, and we saw Luke at the very end throwing the blue shell. But that blue shell hold is what prevented, you know, Team USA being able to pull that item, because you can only get one blue shell, and if someone's holding it, that's it. Like, you can't pull another one and the other team can't get one. So just holding that blue is so important. And as we're seeing, that's one thing we kind of forgot to mention, is that there's lightning counts, but there's also blue shell counts as well. We've seen some races where there's been none, and then we've seen some races where teams get them back to back to back, like just chaining them.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the game of Mario Kart, man. That's what makes it so exciting. Because, like,
you never know.
You know, sometimes you see these boring races of people just front running, nothing bad happening to them. And, you know, we saw some UK wars like that where they just kind of ran and nothing happened. But, you know, loving to see some blue shells, causing some commotion, having some hectic Mario Kart is what we want to see in these wars, as we're going to be going to BC3 and one of the most hectic courses in the game, if not the most, I would say.
God.
When I think competitive Mario Kart Wii, I close my eyes and I just see this track. I feel like I've been put on this track and I'm actually there, you know? You know what I mean? Because it's got so much going for it in terms of it, like the competitive nature of it. Like, you've got two versions of a shortcut that save massive amount of time. We're seeing Sean propping himself up, and Easy does it. Like, look at that. Like, that is time save. And that can be done with no item. Like, I don't know if you caught that, but there was no item there, and he just cut that entire turn. So the whole track comes down to that shortcut. It's everything.
Ooh, and on the other end is you know, baggers. They have to be able to go backwards here, and you know, maybe try, like, you know, not being able to fall off there. It is possible to do that, but Mac's gonna mess up a little bit. I think hold on to last place for that lightning bolt hunt. Either way, USA. Second place right now.
Oh, you don't like to see that. Oh,
really
the ramps on this course, not the best, not the most well-programmed things in the game. Power, unfortunately, causing him to hit the back end of it and go flying as we jump to a shortcut. It's not the easiest one. I did make it sound really easy when we saw, you know, Sean take it in first, that one, but obviously keep in mind the colossal amount of pressure these players are playing under right now, that even these things that they've practiced for hours upon end, just that one slight wrong movement just means that they don't get to make the shortcut.
Yeah, you gotta have some guts, especially to stop in first place. Like, we've seen Xander do that multiple times, where he'll go for it like lap 1 and 2. We see a Bill coming out from Casper, maybe gonna dodge a shock. No, I think he's gonna use it to catch up. But yeah, we did see actually a USA shock from Mac here. So kind of surprising that Casper spammed his Bill, as the Bill could have done damage there with him taking the ultra cut, as we said before. But kind of going back to my point. You know, we see Xander kind of stop lap 1 and 2, take the ultra cut, and we're seeing a lot of players do it now in like higher divisions. And Xander actually falling off, gonna be taken out of a top spot here. We're seeing a 3-4 from Team USA, 1-3-4 for Team USA, as we see Flurry, the only hope for Team UK, as Mac does have the shock, so kind of no hope for Team UK. The bomb
that could be top 3. It could be top 3. Is it gonna hit? Yes, and that's it.
Oh, and sniped him to just rub it in, rub salt in the wounds. That perfect bomb pull in third place.
And that takes a game that goes from like maybe a 10-point win or something like that to a 20, maybe even more than that, depending on the result we're going to see here. That might have, I mean, look, we have not seen a match that has finished with what, or like, sorry, a race that is finished with, you know, big leads, big gains. That is one of the very few we've seen, and we can't expect that to keep happening. UK have a lot of work and thinking to do going into this last GP here.
We are seeing Mac. What?
What was going on with the bottom 2 there? I think they were just repeatedly going for cut over and over, but we're gonna see a top 3-7 for Team USA, and that is a ginormous race for them, and that's the track to do it, right? We've said how hectic that track can get, and that's exactly what we saw right there. We saw that bomb is so hard to avoid. Any like snipes are really, really hard to avoid on that straightaway, just because you have no room to swerve left and right, and even then, the whole bomb radius is gonna take over that straightaway. Like you pretty much have
yeah.
no escape unless you slow down completely to a halt.
Other than the bridge on DK Mountain, I honestly think it is the narrowest straight in the game because you've got the crack on the right and the crack on the left that you either have to hop over or you can't go over at all. So he didn't really have much choice. We didn't get to see Fleury's point of view. We didn't know if he heard the sound of the bomb being thrown or if he tried to slow down. It looked like he drifted off to the left, maybe possibly thinking the bomb was going to land more center stage and he could possibly go around it. But fantastic plays there from Team US, really taking that race home.
Yeah, and we saw UK with all the bombs on Peach Gardens, and that one bomb for Team USA on BC3 making the difference. As a 1-3-4 to a top 3 is a huge point swing for them. So I believe it's a plus 36 for Team USA going into this final GP. So big lead for them, but definitely not comebackable, right? If that's one way to put it.
Yeah,
that's a double negative. I love it. It's true.
That is a word those are a series of words that you could use to describe what is happening. Yes. No, it's pretty incredible to see the action we've seen so far. UK have shown they're able to step it up, and unfortunately, from that bomb alone, that bomb probably cost them 10 points or something, and what makes it even a little bit more doable and closer for them. We're seeing the course picks now. Nothing too, I'd say, striking about this right now. DK Summit and
Cannon tracks. They've both got DK in the name.
This
of
is
DK
true.
Sponsoring the tournament. I don't know. Maybe, possibly.
It's going to be, I think, what was that? I didn't catch it, actually, really quick.
It was Snowboard Cross, also known as Summit in the American version of the game.
And,
yes.
The inferior one, I should say. Snowboard Cross, a much better name.
Snowboard Cross, Summit.
Yes.
Yeah, no. But this track, tell me about this track, because I'm going to be honest, I'm not a massive fan of this track. I close my eyes whenever I see this track, so you got to tell me what the strategy is on this one.
No way!
And down he goes. That fib is going to be big, because I was asking, what would you do on this track, but I do think this is a track where you just want to get up there, right?
Perfect.
From what I've seen?
Exactly. Yeah. Perfect. This double shortcut, obviously, is the big main attraction and feature here in DK Summit, but what's good about it is if you're able to hold top spots, nobody of the opposition behind you, if they're not close enough, they can't bump you off of it because you have to slow down a little bit to take it. What we do see here now is Mac trying to go for the backwards strat on DK Summit, which requires a very certain positioning. Yeah, it's a very certain positioning to actually be able to go backwards and make it. But once you do, you're able to get back there and spawn back towards the first set and actually still go backwards in the track, whereas otherwise you wouldn't be able to. So
yeah, we do see Luke with the bill here, which is a huge item here, as they can cut off so much time, like kind of going through that shortcut. You can also just jump into the double shortcut instead of slowing down for it, use it, and maybe we could see a shock from Team UK here, and that's what we're gonna see on Luke's POV as we do see him dodging the bill. We're gonna see, I think, a 3-4-5 for Team UK dodging. Huge, absolutely huge for them. Let's see if they can do anything with them. As we do see Xander coming up in second. Let's see if he can overtake Sean. Believe he's going to shroom up, but it's going to be close in this top 2 here as it's going to come down to this double shortcut. And we do see Sean in 4th, so kind of odd spots, every other spot for both teams. So going to be seeing what happens here, both going for the cut. Sean's still able to stay in 1st, though, and we're going to see Xander in 2nd.
Watch out for this! Watch out for this POW! Watch out for this POW! USA have top 2 here. Is Luke going to use it? No, it's not going to actually use it. Okay, Casper's going to get wheelie bumped in midair, though. That's going to cost him 2nd place, but I think that's all that's going to cost them. I wonder why not use the POW there. I mean, obviously very hesitant spot to use it. A lot of things are happening at once, but we very clearly saw USA in top 2 spots there.
Yeah, kind of questioning because we did see Xander actually stay in that 2nd place, so he did end up getting 2nd, and he was really close on Casper's screen, but unfortunately a little bit of lag maybe causing Casper to not be able to see him there. So maybe Xander was like, oh, if you use it, you're gonna target me, so maybe hold it to try to get their 4th place or something, but just ends up not using it at all and not being able to make anything out of it. So gonna be a 1-3-4 for Team USA. And UK kind of slowly falling behind, but that just going back to that fib snipe by Casper, pretty sick stuff on Luke. He said, I got you back, because if we remember, Luke did get him with a fib snipe of his own on Koopa Cape, so a little bit of a revenge snipe, but yeah, we're gonna see USA kind of with this lead breaking away.
A bit, but it's not over yet. It's not quite over as we might be throwing it out there right now. I think UK still have more than an opportunity to be able to come back here, but we're gonna get into this game of mathematics and you know, if they get this, and this, and if they get these certain positions or this certain course, they might be able to get away with it. But UK have shown they're able to perform really well. It's just a matter of being able to hold it against such a formidable roster. We're going to see, I think, TF be the pick here, coming in from USA East. What's maybe an appropriate course selection? Yeah, course selection for UK. Apparently Mushroom Gorge, we're seeing.
I agree with it. It's kind of like a reset track, luck, whereas if you get shrooms, you can take the cut and catch up. But Sword, we need you to channel some energy for this UK squad. We want to see a little bit of competition. Whoa. Chat as well. Chat, let's hear it for UK, man.
I don't know. I disagree with you. I mean, like, I don't know who you're rooting for here. Obviously, I'm a bit neutral, but I do love my boys back home. But, I mean, Mac has been getting a majority of the shocks, has he not? Why would you want to come here if the opposing team is the one that's got the chokehold on all the lightnings? Surely that would be catastrophic, because this is potentially the worst offender in the game for, like, horrendous respawns. So like the lightning just takes complete center stage on this track. If you get targeted in this cave section, you spin out, and depending on how you collide with the mushrooms, like that is just it. Like you can have this amazing lead that we're seeing from these players, and it could just dissipate into nothing. So I don't know, mixed feeling.
I think they're just really confident in Jazz's ability to get it, because he's been doing so well throughout everything. He's just kind of like the go-to bagger in the community that everybody knows about. I'm curious if he was in last, because we do see one bagger.
What is this?
Casper, what just happened?
Oh my goodness!
A little bit of flary lag in the chat. Coming out and getting him off.
Destroyed.
We're gonna have a look over there, is what he said to that man there. Luke just playing this like he's just, you know, in TT mode. Triple shrooms in first, just doing the gap jump as you do. Nothing new here. I think, do UK have most of the top spots then from what I saw?
I think it's going to be a USA shock. I believe I see Mac going forward, not using anything, if I'm not mistaken. Jazz maybe trying to get him down, because we did see Mac back there, but we do see a 6-7 right now for Team UK, and I think we see another UK member in 5th place, so Luke is that one member in first, and I think it's a 2-3-4 for USA possibly. Or no, maybe not. We do see some spots splitting up, but I'm surprised if USA does have the shock that they did not opt to TS Luke, as he did just take it 3 for 3 with triple shrooms in first. Kind of a rarity on this course, but gonna see what happens here. Casper maybe gonna use this dodge shock at the end. That's exactly what he does. Gonna bring him up some spots, and UK possibly with the bottom 2 years they get target shock as well.
Yeah, that is a big shock. Even though you may think, half of the room have already finished the race. There's that exchange of like short points there, where you've got Xander, who was angling to do the gap jump, and Flary, who looked like he was taking the inside of the last turn. Just that mega pushing Casper up to that position and putting Xander and Flary in those positions. Huge, massive. They already got the point lead, and they want to just expand it as far as they can. Luke and Sean holding up 1-3.
Okay.
1-3.
Sean clutching it. Maybe had a shroom there at the end and just passed everybody, because we did see him in like 5th or 6th. So able to clutch that for them, because I thought that was going to be a huge race for USA, as I only saw Luke up there in first.
Yeah,
we did. I think there was a little bit of Sean. I did see it like on lap 3 from the perspective of Casper, but I didn't really realize what he had. So maybe he had a golden, and he managed to get up there and possibly, you know, pull that shroom in the cave.
Something like
guys,
that.
What this expected in terms of the baggers? What did you guys think was going to happen? Like, did you think one bagger was going to
destruction? Absolute carnage, mayhem. It always is on that track. Was that not the most peaceful race? I feel like Luke, I'm interested in Luke's end time. He just had the most casual time trialing experience with 9 people tailgating him. It's not something you see on Mushroom Gorge. Honest.
That's what he's used to. You know, he's used to being that time trial factor, really good lines. That's his comfort zone. Being in first place with triple shrooms. I mean, who wouldn't want that? But, you know, it's curious that he didn't get it powed out of him. There wasn't a blue shell that went for him. He was just able to run Mushroom Gorge with 3 shrooms in first. Not something you see super often on any course, actually.
Interesting pick as well, to go to Move You Highway with 1-3 and 7-8. Very formidable running track, right, Eirik? This one, like one of the most run heavy in the game.
So I will say, this is like, if you get going, it is so hard to stop people here, especially from these rosters. But the thing about this, and we'll want to pay attention to this, these first boxes are so chaotic, so many vehicles to run into, and people to bump into those, and bomb cars that you can intentionally explode with items like green shells and backspams. So it's so often chaotic, and being able to shroom up and get the right ends to get up there is so important. You just see there, for example, UK lagging a bomb car to try to get USA doesn't work, but it's examples like that that we really start to see from a chaotic start here. At the start of the race, we do see Jazz beating Mac in the bagging duel, and Mac is actually going to get the bullet bill, so very, very, very likely for Jazz to be able to get the shock here if we don't see any other indication of Mac being able to get something in 9th. Like, that's just going to have to be how it is for Mac at this point.
Yeah, and you know, with bagging as well on this track, you have to be super careful that you don't troll anybody. As we did see in the semifinals between Netherlands and USA East, Joris accidentally setting off a bomb car and getting 2 of USA's members. So that's another factor to keep in check here for these baggers. But we're going to see Sean with the bill in 7th. Kind of a strong item here at the beginning of the lap. You know, boost pads can also catch you up with the bill, but you know, you do prefer to dodge when nobody's on the boost pad so that you can get into a higher spot. Curious to see if Jazz does truly have the shock, because we did see him in last year. But we do see Mac trying to star him, so I think it is going to be a UK shock. If he can hit him, that would be insane. But going to be a Sean build coming out. Maybe Flary also using a star, and you know, kind of noticing that Sean was in that build, called for his team to not use it. Going to be looking to see what happens at the end here, as we have seen a UK 2-3 Casper getting pushed into a car there, so it's the UK show out here in the front for now. Going to be seeing if Team USA can break up these spots, and if UK can maybe use the shock to their advantage, but they might just patiently
keep in mind, this is a 46-point lead right now for USA. UK need a huge spot up there. We only see 3, 4, 5 for them. If they don't have first, this might... Whoa, what happened there? I actually wasn't able to catch it. If that got them before the line, who that was, I just heard a Funky Kong scream. 2 races left. The results of this one are so important. UK, do you have a position up there? Do you have a pulse?
I think so.
I think they have a top 2 spot for sure.
I think so. Sure I think it might be second, possibly, but it's going to be the making factor of this, because depending on the results of this race, if it's not enough, it puts them in a really sticky situation. It is second, so it's that entire runway of 2 through 5. Would have preferred those extra 3 points in first. Absolutely. But
that's an 11-point victory, so they are still down by now 35 points. I can't emphasize how difficult it is to win a match with 1 race left, and you have to win by 35 to just tie. Keep in mind, what the top 5 is, what a plus 41.
Yep.
Yeah, they need essentially top 4.
So all run essentially is what we're seeing here. Maybe Broly, you can speak to all run and what that means for a team.
Yeah, so pretty much when a team is kind of, you know, down and out of it in terms of points, to the point where their bagger can no longer go backwards, like even a top 4-9 wouldn't get them to that victory that they need, the bagger opts to go forwards, and that's definitely what we're going to be seeing here for Team UK, as they're going to need it here, and they need a top 5 to win. One of the rarest phenomenons in the game, honestly, is to get a top 5, especially when the other team is holding the shock, especially on a cannon track like DK Mountain, where the shock can be used 3 times for their teammate if they want 2 times for their teammate if they want in the cannon. So I think this is a track that kills 5 running. You know, a lot of people want to bring 5 running back. They want to bring it back into the meta, but it's tracks like these with cannons and with huge shortcuts like Grumble Volcano that kind of, you know, kill those hopes and dreams. Because just of how powerful the shock is and how easy it is for people to run.
Well, we do see they aren't doing all run as the full, right?
They're not all run.
No, we did see 2 of them going back, so I think they're just using this match for practice. Maybe they already think, you know, we're down and out of it. It was a good attempt, but it's just no point. Possibly because of the track, though. Maybe if we saw a different track, like you mentioned with the cannon, obviously Mac going backwards on their own, uncontested, can pull all the lightnings that they want, and then some. So it's going to be really hard to run this up. So maybe they're just using this for, you know, practice for the next one.
I guess I just don't understand. Like, what are we practicing for? This is grand finals. Like, this is this is what you're playing for. So, I mean, yes, is DK Mountain incredibly difficult to win on doing all run? Yes. Is it possible at all to win when not doing all run when you're down by 35? No. So I don't.
Does Jazz have any running? Like, when was the last time Jazz ran in this tournament? Has he done any running in this tournament? Maybe.
No,
No.
he is a strict bagger. I mean, I don't think we see him run at all, even outside of the tournament. So, you know, maybe a little bit uncomfortable with that. And I kind of agree with you, Eirik. I think, you know, I think you've had all the practice you can get up to this point, and I think you just need to be going for the win here. Like, I don't think using this for practice is the right thing. I think you definitely want to be going for the win, because if you do win by some miracle, imagine how much momentum you gain. It's absolutely ridiculous. But now, you know, the momentum's still going to be in USA's favor, and they're going to be using it to carry it into the next match. So
Well,
I really agree with you there, Eirik.
There's one thing that I am forgetting, or you're also forgetting, or I'm mostly forgetting, is that penalties.
Oh,
Penalties can also
this
factor
is
in.
true. We could not know something here. That, of course, in Mario Kart Wii, there are penalties that can come into play, -20 if a bagger does hit one of the opposing team's racers. Maybe there's knowledge of that we don't know of, and they're going for the win anyway. Either way, we did see Edison slow down for UK to get blued. Gonna be able to golden pass. Bomb gets onto UK. Goodbye, sayonara. And that's just gonna be the match there. USA taking an emphatic Game 1 win with everyone seeming to die around Sean here towards the very end. Hats off to the Americans. They are able to get it done, and UK sword in shambles now.
In shambles. Literally, we were playing the most robust game of ping pong with USA East I've ever seen in my Mario Kart career, up until race 8. At that point, I don't know, someone in the back turned on some Spice Girls on the boombox and we just started jamming out. And I just don't know what happened there.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, I think they played well. I still think they played very, very well. We saw a lot of tosses and turns in the road. And like I said, it's a best of 3. And I did say we're going to be seeing a 2-1 scenario. I didn't say that we were going to win the first one. Imagine that. Imagine Team UK losing the first one and being like, all right, let's get it on. And just...
I would appreciate that from, you know, a hype perspective. But, you know, it's a little dry to say we hope for a Game 3, right? We can do more than that. So let's say this. UK, I hope you do better Game 2, because that certainly wasn't enough, if nothing else.
Damn, okay.
I mean, look, ultimately, it came down to what? That GP2 was where we started to see that victory really coming to the front there for USA, right? I think we saw those big race wins on BC3 and otherwise that really hurt them. So yeah, that is essentially the match. The final score is going to be 383 to 349. So, and again, emphatic win for them. Congratulations to USA for at least being able to start this one off the right way, as they might put it. Y'all, quick thoughts before, you know, we might go to a quick break, of course. This is Game 2 starting soon, but thoughts, impressions on what we just saw here, and maybe from some standout players.
Just my thoughts going into it. I think Mac, absolutely with the MVP right there for Team USA, getting all the shocks, because as I said before, kind of the strategy was, you know, the UK, they just want to run. They just want to run and get in the front, and they're used to Jazz just holding shocks for them, but Mac said, not today. I'm going to be MVP, and I think he definitely killed it for them.
I think Casper definitely played some very large roles there with some of the wackiest item pulls in quick succession I have seen in a while. Nothing else really to say other than that. No, I honestly think that I'm really interested to see if we're going to be seeing a substitute. That's what I'm going to be looking at, because obviously War 1's out of the way. We have the end result. We have the end score. They probably have a good idea in the call that they're in. Like, okay, what can we do better? What worked? What didn't work? Did we flub anywhere? Could it have been prevented? And is either team going to see it beneficial to think, right, okay, no offense, friend, but we got to bring out the big guns. We've got to bring someone else in. It wasn't quite clicking. And I'm curious. I'm curious to see, will we see a substitute for Team UK? Will we see a substitute for Team USA East? Because we saw that in the semis, did we not?
We did, and Havo has played really well on that note, you know, being to sub in for USA East when they are seeing struggles, but for now they're looking good. UK, I think they do have something planned up their sleeve. We've heard a little bit of glimpses and rumors, I guess, not even rumors, just hard confirmation that they probably will be subbing someone. So yeah, we'll be able to see that soon. But y'all, for now, we're going to take it to a quick break and then hear from our analyst desk before getting started with Game 2. So y'all, Don't go away. If you have enjoyed the action, please keep it coming. Tweet out #MKWC. Support the other stream at Ludwig, twitch.tv/Ludwig if you can. And otherwise, we'll be back in just a few moments for the remainder of this series. Do not ever go away.
Don't do it.
Do not.
of races and secure a lot of wins with, especially at the start. They come out the gate really well. They got the shot the first 2 races, and that helped secure the win. Like, they built up a little bit of a lead, and after that, I think UK started they had a string of a few races where they managed to get back into it with their shocks and a few plays as well, like we saw on Peach Gardens. The shot pool from UK, and then the bombs and everything else, and we saw the crazy end there. But yeah, obviously, after Moo Moo Meadows, we saw it swing back into US's favor, and I think what did it was obviously Matt was putting a lot of shots. I think the shot count that was notable was 5-3 in favor of the US, and in general, with a few of them coming in 9th, I think Matt got a little bit lucky, but he also managed to use them really well when he got them. And yeah, that kind of helped secure a lot of top spots for the US at a lot of races where it really counted. Barry, what are your thoughts?
So I think chalk ended up just mattering a lot in this matchup. USA started out with a strong 2 first races, and UK was basically able to bring it back, I believe, on Peach Gardens with a great shot on their part, despite I think being the 3 in the 5-3 bagging matchup in favor of US. Really, UK ended up having a lot of top spots for a lot of the match, but USA just getting more shocks, and most importantly, being able to put a lot more. UK being able to just, I don't know, USA shocks was a lot more effective. In Moo Moo Meadows, it was very apparent. Really,
Yeah.
There was a lot more, I'd say, plays from Casper on his end. You just saw fib snipes coming out, bombs, etc., taking up a lot of the top spots. It's at this level, even if you're able to run, USA just proving that if you are given the shock, you're going to do everything in your advantage to just completely own your races off of that. So it not mattering much in the end, despite having UK, I think, having a better running presence. USA just ended up getting more shocks and benefiting more.
Yeah, I agree there. So one thing that I really wanted to point out on that is something that Jake mentioned, is how well that the US capitalized on the times that they got shocks. And yeah, we can attribute, Matt getting lucky, especially getting it right at 30 seconds and 9th on Sherbert Land, but the way that the US were able to take those opportunities and make a huge gap in the points for them is, I think, what really was the difference maker here. UK, even though they got shocked, and this could be attributed to the fact that they were in front so often and they were really having that running presence throughout it, they didn't have very many opportunities to get big shocks coming in the times that Jazz pulled them. And while Jazz overall, I think, performed better in the bagging role over Mac there, the US as a whole, they had the items that they needed for the opportunities when they had shocks. So they were always ready for when they got those chances, and they took full advantage of them. One other thing that I wanted to go into is the plays that we saw made, notably by Casper on a lot of those races, where you see UK having this front presence and Casper making snipes, whether it's bombs on BC3 on Flary at the end, and he went all the way from 8th to 2nd, when he made snipes on Gardens a couple of times, and just across the board, he made a lot of good plays there that helped ease the US back into those positions. So even when they got chances to use the shock there, they were already farther ahead and didn't fall so far behind where the shock was less powerful for them. So Jake, what are your thoughts on that, and what other options did you see there for them?
Yeah, we did see a lot of the US being able to recover, even when there were times where UK managed to, keep them back, like we saw on Grumble Volcano, lap 1. We saw UK put a bomb on the Rock Hop, which prevented Casper and someone else taking it in 5 and 6, so it kind of held them back for the rest of the race. So yeah, in general, I think the US, they did really well to make sure, even when they weren't as in the top spots, to recover well in general, and I think that also really helped them secure the win in general. Yeah, I don't really have too much to add because you kind of covered everything that I kind of was in my mind. Yeah, have you got anything else to add in that regard, Barry?
I think just next match for UK, what I would focus on, with your Schlager player, which might be, I don't know if it's Flary this time, there's someone in, you really have to make sure that US isn't able to hold these dodges in like these 7-8 spots because as we said like many times, like that's really just what got them back into the match, because UK's running presence is great, but they really need someone to just like either hold up these dodges more or just make sure that they cannot greedily hold these and benefit from max bagging presence.
You know what is one thing that I didn't really see too much of in this war was quite a bit of slagging. I didn't really see too many times where either team decided to go out of their way to really take momentum away from the team and disrupt their play, apart from I think on RBC, when Casper used his Mega and Mega'd Sean and he's going across the bridge. That's one of the only momentous times that I believe there was any sort of disruptive play going on from either side. So it would be nice to see if there's any of that coming into play into the second match.
So we'll end with one last question then, and it sounds like Barry, you already answered this as far as adjustments that teams should be making in the next match. So Jake, any other adjustments that you see UK or the US making, or should make rather?
I think it would be a good idea I think it might be happening anyway, I'm not 100% sure, but I think it would be a good idea for Klein to come in for someone on the UK side, because I've seen on many occasions like he's able to fill in that role of slagging and disrupting plays a lot more than say Luke or Sean, more so because that's kind of more of a role for him. So maybe on that part, so one thing they could do is make a sub there. I think they definitely need to keep an eye on where it's dodging item situation, as you mentioned as well, Wally. And for the US side, I think they've been doing pretty well. I think they can kind of go with what they've been doing so far and just kind of build on it. I don't really not really too sure how they can change things too much, in all honesty.
So from the US perspective, I think they need to get more of a front presence. Overall, they've been lacking in that, and they've gotten bailed out by Mac pulling shocks. Whether it was a 9th or 10th or whatever, he got it at crucial moments for them, and that was able to swing the race back into US's favor. From a UK perspective, while I do think they need more of a slagging role there, I think they can also build on that because they do command a lot of the top spots where both the first and second place are back spamming everything, and just kind of work more in tandem on their back spams to really start building that lead out to mitigate any sort of shock damage or blue shells that are coming in. And I think if they can do that, then even if Jazz doesn't get lucky with shocks, it'll help the UK still maintain their front spots. And my big concern for the US is that I don't think that Mac is going to continue to get the shocks that he did this match, especially getting, I believe it was 3 in 9th. And because of that, like, he might get 1 or 2, but he's not going to get as many big swings there. And I think those other times they're going to go back to the UK, and that's going to be bigger races for them. And that difference there that we saw just in the score, I think is going to switch right back over to the UK. Barry, did you have any final thoughts?
I just really like to see UK pull this to for a 2-1 win, honestly. I hope they bring it back, just because I would really like to see that upset where we have finally, throughout all Mario Karts, to finally have a third country win the World Cup, or especially breaking US's reign in this game. So really want them to bring it home.
All right. Well, I think that'll do it here from the analyst desk. So with that, we're going to send it back over to the casters. Thanks, guys.
And hello, everybody. Welcome back to the cast. Thank you all for waiting. My name is Eirik. I'm joined here again by Sword and Broly. And shout out to Analyst Desk for keeping it real. A huge shot count disparity from what we were hearing from them, which I actually hadn't keyed into as much. And I'm really glad they pointed out the 9th place shocks and how much they had been kind of giving it to them in that regard. Surprising, right? Like, because we kind of talked about Jazz and just being this really formidable force throughout all of group stage, and I feel like he's been kind of our #1 bagger so far. But do we think this is like a fluke for Jazz, that he's going to come bounce back into it? Curious for, let's start with Broly, your thoughts.
I think he definitely will. You know, I kind of said this before, bagging is kind of like a 50-50 deal. It's like, sometimes you just get unlucky and the other person gets extremely lucky.
Right.
And you can't control it. It's like, you know, sometimes there can be 5-6 shocks in 9 per war. So you might outskill the other bagger, but they'll just get more shocks because they're luckier. So could have been the case, but I don't know. I think Mac, you know, did really well on his end. So, but I think Jazz will bounce back. I think he's like been in situations like this before, not in this tournament, but you know, where he's had a lot of pressure on him. So I'm looking for him to turn it around, and I think he'll do a good job.
I pointed it out. I pointed it out. I pointed out Matt getting the shocks, man, at the end of the last one. I was very confused to the decision to go to DK Mountain, and you guys were like, "Nah, it's all good, chill." Honestly, no.
I don't know. We were chill about it. I think we brought up some questions about it. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you were more confused that there was no all run. I thought they had a hidden penalty. I don't know. It didn't really turn out.
We were hoping for the best on their behalf. Yeah, that
we were.
It was a stretch.
We were. Yeah.
Yeah. Is it Sword? Is it still coming home? Do you still think UK have it in them to be able to bring this one back for them?
A wise man once said, and he goes by the name Chadders. Shouts to him. It's all still to play for.
Oh, all right, sure.
So I am a firm believer of this policy. I've been sat next to this man, and he's screaming that so far down my eardrum that it's come out of my elbow. So we're going with that. We are going with that. I honestly think UK can do it. Like I said before the intermission, I think there's going to be a few sub changes. It might change the dynamic of what's about to happen, because we did see in the semis a bit of a switch up, and it ended up being the difference that made it so that UK were able to rise on top on their chariot to victory. So honestly, I don't think you can count them out. Obviously, I am rooting for the UK because it is my bread and butter, no pun intended. But yeah, I mean, they're definitely gonna have to step it up a little bit, but with a fresh new roster and a fresh new mindset of like, right, okay, that one's out the way. I've got someone outside. Sorry, just flexing.
You're good. I don't hear really anything, honestly.
You can't hear that? You can't hear that?
I don't hear anything. So you could have just said nothing and kept us.
Just to point out, I was muting in a lot of the races because I've currently got the whole family of all the birds in my area on my roof, and I've got, apparently Luke is out there driving outside, like making mad circles out there. But no, like I said, like it's going to be all down to the chemistry between the players. A fresh new wars, a fresh new start. Like, it's all a mental game, right? We didn't cover that at all. We didn't talk about how much of Mario Kart is purely a mental game. Like, you can be good at all the shortcuts, you can be fantastic at grabbing shocks, you can be an excellent runner, you can have the best snipe skills, but it's those moments of they just got top 3 because they bomb sniped us at the line, and I fell off, and we just lost our lead, and we're down 30 points now. It's being able to ruffle that off, shake it off, and just carry on and keep pressing new, start it anew. And that's what's going to matter. I think that's what happened with Team UK there, because we saw a neck and neck divide between them.
Right.
The first like 6 or 7 races, was it? And then that one race, that was it.
It really did a lot of damage. And so, yeah, to your point, you know, if it wasn't for that race, we might have seen a completely different match. I'm hoping that's what we get to see. We will see at least a completely different match in one respect, and that is that Discord is having an outage, and one of the UK members has been lost in the call. So we are trying, you know, rapidly to get UK into a call that all of their teammates can be in, because they are having, difficulties with being able to get in. In fact, that's why we've had some of our hiccups here. So we're doing our best, as we would say, and we're waiting for the UK members to be able to get into the call, because of course communication being so important to this game. you cannot afford to be playing this game or at this level in the grand finals of the World Cup without it.
That's for sure, especially when he's your bagger. I mean, bagging being the most important role of the game that you actually need to be hearing for that activate shock. So definitely a big loss for them if he's not in the call. So definitely need to wait here. Maybe they're going to fire up the Google Hangouts, the Microsoft Teams, the old Skype. We could see the old Skype coming back into play. That would be a throwback. I would love to see Skype back.
I just stepped into a time capsule and I'm 14 again. Thanks for that one, Broly. Amazing. Alternatively, if the US team are feeling confident, they could probably just get one of their players to sit on the bench, do a 4v4, for all time, say, keep up the schedule. You never know.
Yeah.
Might see a bit of that. Possibly. Maybe. Who knows?
That would make it intriguing, to say the least.
Yeah, we have to.
I mean, the fact that a shock is rare in a 4v4 as well is kind of...
Oh, yeah.
At least you can't get it in 7, so you can't get cheesed at least. That's like the one benefit of a 4v4. But yeah, guys, hope you guys are having a great day so far. I know I am. We've hit 1K on the stream. Kind of had a consistent 1K, and I'm loving to see that. Loving to see people into the Mario Kart, into the World Cup. And hope you guys are having a great Saturday, because I know I am.
Yeah, it's again, this game too is going to mean everything, every single race, every single point. Jazz, I'm sure, certainly looking to make a bit of a comeback here for his teammate and his players. So yeah, I think we could see something, especially so. One thing to note, Luke is being subbed out here for Klein, I think, is what the move is. Luke, of course, being kind of a mainstay in the roster, which, yeah, so I kind of want to talk about that because, if you're going off individuals alone, which is not the most indicative metric of performance by any means in this game, especially if you're taking on different roles, Flary kind of looks like the odd one out, right? But I think that maybe says something about Flary and what they're doing for their team, maybe, potentially. So for any UK perspectives here for the stream, we are going to be watching Klein, who, Sword, I remember you remarking on Klein and their performance throughout the quarterfinals, which is the only time they showed up so far in the bracket, but they really caught your eye. And why was that?
Oh, yeah. Klein is a talent unbeknownst to many people. I think a lot of people sleep on this player. I definitely did. I was not awake. I have to set my alarm clock to be watching Clyde gameplay.
Sure.
He is very versatile. He's versatile. Like we spoke earlier, Team UK is all run. And like we've obviously got Jazz, the incredible bagger, and then you've got like the likes of Sean and Luke and Xander, and then mostly like a mid-pack to a run element. You don't have anyone that really can do both. Klein is that person. And we saw in, was it the quarterfinals? Like some of the plays that Casper was doing in that match to the UK teammates, honestly, if I closed my if I tabbed out and not looked in the bottom right, I would have thought I was watching a Klein video. Because he has that similar kind of play, like putting those bombs and throwing them off of walls and stopping with megas in really, really fatal spots and those fib throws. And he is like the demolition derby of Team UK. So I think that can make all the difference. As for subbing out Luke but not Flary, it's an interesting decision. We saw in a previous match, we saw Quinn getting subbed out, didn't we? And Quinn was the highest scorer in said war.
This is true.
But they subbed him out. So sometimes I guess it's less about like, okay, you scored a 3-digit number, amazing. It's more about those short-term exchanges between players, and maybe there was just some few moments where there was just a bit of flubbage going on, and they just think, right, well maybe the team synergy of this player is a little better. We'll take the loss of 30 points for slightly better, I don't know, communication between the players, and then we might get more top 3s, more top 2, 4, 5s, stuff like that. But I'm curious because obviously we don't know what goes on behind the scenes. We're just speculating. Like we have no idea. Like I haven't got my UK squad behind me going, Luke's quitting because he's had enough. Like no, we don't know that.
Yeah, it could definitely be like a mentality thing. Maybe Luke's having a hard time, like you were saying, and but it seemed like he was doing rather well. Scoring what he scored. I think was it a 102? I believe.
A lot. Enough. Victory
more than enough.
We'll call it victory points. We'll call it steamrolling.
He's carrying the team either way. But yeah, it could be that factor like you were talking about before with Klein, playing that trolling sort of mid-pack and also in the front, which is, Luke is more accustomed to staying in the front, like looking to get up there more than doing that slagging, that troll role. So maybe it is the good sub that they need. And we did see Javo subbing for Quinn in that
the
last
semifinal
match when they
set.
lost. Yeah, and Javo did a really good job of stop trolling and also running. So he was kind of like that Klein that they needed. And it really paid off for Team USA East in the end because they were able to take it home, to say the least. So,
That's not fair. You can't use that against me. That's not fair. Can't do that, man. What next? God bless the UK. Is that what we're gonna go for now? You want to fight, bro? Put him up.
I'm down to take some mottos away from you guys.
Fair enough.
I mean,
Fish and shit.
Hey, yeah,
Pretty good stuff.
I'd say there's various aspects of British culture that I would love to just steal, but
Same.
You can't. You can
I-
pretend you can, but you can't.
Like calling fries chips. That's kind of hot, right?
yeah, I think it's a far better alternative. Or
It really is. And calling chips crisps because the sound they make when you bite into them, like
crisp,
Like,
okay.
that's
Yeah,
not
yeah, yeah,
shit,
crisp.
is
I like
it?
crisps.
Like, come
I
on.
like crisps.
Mm.
I like
It's
that.
great, man.
Mm.
And when I went to the US and I was like, okay, do you have any chips? Like, no, sir, we don't sell those here. I'm like, what? Then I had to adjust my brain. Like,
right, yeah.
sorry, I'll have some fries with that. There you go. Yeah, thank you.
Now, why are they called French fries? Of all things.
That's the thing I don't get, and I'm sure a Google search would do me a favor there, but I just haven't taken the 2 seconds to do that. So I'm gonna find it right now.
Yeah, you
Well,
should.
I mean,
Why
hamburger
is it
is called that
called
because they were made in
French
Hamburg.
fries?
So I guess French fries means because they're French. I guess we'll go down that line. I mean,
Is
it
that
makes
true?
sense. No,
Is that true?
absolutely not. Not at all. Not even in the slightest.
Where did
God.
potatoes originate from? What country?
Ireland.
They should be called Irish fries, shouldn't they? Like,
You think?
can we see a Team France versus Team Ireland World Cup match for that?
Yeah,
For calling it an Irish fry?
yeah, that'd be something, wouldn't it?
I do
my
think,
result-
but I think a little bit of a update we are getting is that I think this match should be ready somewhat soon. I'm hearing from the grapevine that at least UK is ready. They've set up on Steam apparently. I think that
Oh, we're going
that's
old
the
school.
case.
We're going
Yeah.
old school,
That's
man.
hot.
Wow.
I like that.
Yeah, so we'll see what they're doing here. We'll see. We'll see if that works out for them just in time.
The Steam chat. I wonder if there's going to be any lag with that. Do you
I
think?
just,
But
I'm worried that someone's going to get gifted a game on Steam mid-game. They're like, woo! I just received a copy of Borderlands 3. Oh, God, I need to pay attention to the race. It's not good.
you can grief with that. If you're the enemy team, you can gift the opposing team games mid-war and distract them. That is just next level.
Ideal.
gameplay right
Yeah,
there.
ideal. All right.
You got to be...
I think, okay, it looks like they are starting. They have confirmed they have all 5 members in their Steam call, and they are able to get things going. So we are set here for USA East UK to be starting shortly. There's a 90-second delay on the inputs we get. Of course, it'd be awful if one of the teammates from, any of the rosters were to look at stream and it was real time and they say, oh, Mac with the shock. Okay, cool. We know that. We know that now at least.
That's not it. That's not good sportsmanship, so we're not allowing that here.
Yeah, not at all. So, that is. We'll be able to confirm rosters soon here because that is what at least I heard from the grapevine. But yeah, I'm seeing Flary's me still here, so should be starting shortly. Jazz, of course, can't go without him. Can't go without that bagger being in the call, as I think he's the one that was facing those issues. But now it's going to be USA starting in those 1-3 spots. So as we talk about course selection, Maple Treeway is a very popular one that teammates with teams with 1-3 positions tend to go to. But for 2, 4, 6 spots, probably get something far more stale, I'd say, going into this one. Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely gets like a Koopa Cape, but the other non-stale option for the 2-4 spots, it's kind of like a Grumble Volcano, kind of like that reset that people want. And we did see it pay off huge time for team, was it USA, I believe, that they had top 3, I believe, the race before, and then UK got top 3 the race before, and then USA was able to get that Grumble pick, and then they were able to get those top spots. So they're probably looking to be going to like we're gonna probably see like a Maple Trio and a Koopa Cape coming out from both teams. That's kind of like the standard, I believe. GP
It is, yeah, which is a shame because Cupid Cape is just such a boring and stale track. But I think. Well, no, the bagging. Like, look, what's happening at the back? We're running into a waterfall to get the shock. Maybe if there's an item box.
They're in an aquatic, beautiful underwater, beautiful world with beautiful.
I don't know if I can agree with
Alright,
that.
it's not about the visuals. That's why you don't like Moo Moo. He's not about them cows either.
I literally said I
would you take
was. I literally said I was. I don't know where you're getting this from.
I think my head's not screwed on quite right from that last game, but we're going into this one, and I think I'm going to screw it back on real tight right now.
Y'all,
There we go.
let's hear it. Game 2, finally. Thank you for your patience. Race 1, match 2. Let's hear it from y'all. Who do you have winning? Is it going to be USA taking it in 2 games of the set, or is it going to go to a game 3? We'll find out starting here. N64 BC. It will be Jazz and Mac in the bagging match, and this is one that's really fun to watch. We'll take a look at the paths they have. As you see, obviously, the pack very close up front, but Mac is able to get a really good start there. What ends up happening on the bagging part right there, and I think, you know, Broly, you have plenty of experience bagging. It can be really difficult to get past that first part, and especially this part of the staircase here.
Yeah, definitely like a lot of mind games going on when you're going backwards at first. You know, kind of an iffy decision by Mac there because a lot of boxes there that could have been stolen from the runners as he went right into the middle of them. So I'm not sure if, you know, lap 1 that would be considered a troll, maybe a box steal, but you know, kind of needs to be more careful in that aspect. But yeah, you know, kind of what we see at the beginning of the bagging is kind of the 2 baggers kind of trying to block each other off from getting backwards before that bridge. And you know, it's a pretty techie course as well, making that stair, the little stair hop thing. But enough about the baggers. We do see Mac still going backwards. We're going to see Klein, as Sword said, with that mega, playing that kind of schlag roll. Shout outs to Troy, right? But we're gonna
Not the first time I've been called Troy and not the last. A lot of people mistake me for him. I think we got the same hair, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, that might be it. That might be it.
Might be it. Casper with the star in 7th, though. Assuming Mac is winning the bagging battle in this scenario, definitely wanting to be holding on to that star, as we've seen in a previous war. RBC, a track where running is definitely favored, but, you know, the Lightning is no easy hitter on this course as it can completely demolish the other team. And we're not seeing as big of a break on this one that we saw in the previous war, right?
No, not at all.
Forced to use that star. He had a good reaction time there. Very, very good. Possibly could have jumped off of the wall, and kept the star, but
Too
better
risky.
than being hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You got to take it as it comes.
POW. Now, POW is such an important item. Mac is going to be the one that has the bolt here for USA, so this is going to be really crucial for them if they can line up their dodges in a way that can get, you know, at least towards the grass cut is where we typically see it. Hopefully we do see a different perspective here from the racers because, yeah, it's going to be Casper holding onto that Mega. Didn't hold onto that POW, which can be lethal, but it's not worth it. When you're in 7th place, can chain your Mega and easily dodge the shock. That's going to be a red shell. That's going to be Flary out of the picture, and maybe a USA. Oh, no, I thought it was going to be a top 3.
Really,
Xander.
really good play from Jazz there. Jazz coming in with a very, very smart play there, holding a star, knowing that Mac had the shot, positioning himself in a position where Xander, after the shot coming out, can grab a star, gains him immunity from Casper so that they can secure that 2nd place. Because by all means, they're definitely going to need it after that shock. Very, very hard-hitting shock. Excellent usage from Team USA. Because we did see the UK team occupying, what was it, 2, 3, 4, 5 coming out of the shock?
Yeah, and
it looked like
either that or like a lot of middle spots behind it, but we just saw there from Sean's perspective, it is USA all day in these top 4 positions. That is going to be detrimental here for the start of the match for the United Kingdom, who obviously trying to get back into things, and Jazz doing the best they could. But we saw at the beginning of the race what happened when Mac was able to get that really quick start. That's 1, 3, 4, and 6. A solid start here for the United States side. But yeah, we saw at the beginning, Mac being able to get that quick backward start, which so often, you know, pointing out, I think Brawler pointed out, is just like, yeah, it's really difficult to get past that. Oftentimes, baggers try blocking each other from being able to go there quick, but Jazz wasn't able to do it, and Mac gets the quick up on him and is able to get the shock, get in last a lot quicker. And so Now, we do have, of course, a match where, you know, not ideal start for UK. We'll see what the response is from course selection, which seems like it might be a favorite of ours that we've been seeing, Sherbetland.
It's cold in the UK, man. We've got to go to the cold tracks. It says it's not cold right now. It's normally cold, but obviously we still hold that love for Sherbetland right there.
And you got to question a little bit. Maybe, you know, would Luke have made a big difference on that track? Would he have been in the front? You know, that's another thing you got to question. Maybe did they sub out the right person? Maybe should they have kept the same lineup? But for now, on to Sherbetland. A little too early to be talking about that.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's a little harsh. Little harsh.
Just nailing the picture on the wall there, dude.
This is the World Cup final. This is the World Cup final. It's time to be harsh. It's time to be blunt. They gotta do a lot to win. Irish, you said yourself, you were pretty blunt. You were like, UK, they need to do better.
Yeah, but the poor Klein just coming in, just getting their training wheels on. They're more than capable. They have a star here to start off in 7th place. UK, 5, 6, 7. Not very, not very nice of positions to be having if you're UK here. We will have at least Casper here in 2nd. USA having a really good start here. I don't know, like, is it normal for people to front run Sherbetland like this? Well,
yes,
what?
It is.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. You want to get a golden or triple mushrooms first set. You want to get up there as quick as you can because, let's face it, those turns, like the cracks and the blind turns in the cave, brilliant for just, you know, back spamming fibs and greens and bananas. And I mean, if they build up enough of a lead, like UK pulling the shock, like if Jazz gets the shock here and they manage to dodge the UK team, like this is going to be too far ahead for it to even matter, you know?
Yeah, and it's looking really harsh right now because Jazz is really far back in 9th. We do see Mac, I believe he just fell off, so possibly having the build. Jazz still going backwards, but it is a top 3 for USA going strong right now. And the pack, not super split up though. Definitely a lot of comeback potential. Only 8th place really far back there, and a dodge will easily get them back in here. So I think Laughter's going to be hectic, but we do see Mac actually with the lightning bolt kind of negating that commotion.
Yeah.
As, you know, they're not going to use the shock. Who uses the shock when you have top 3? Like, that's just doesn't make sense. And, you know, I think Sean probably going to have like a star. Or actually, they're top 4. This is Sean's lead. And we do see a Mega coming off from Klein, using it a little prematurely, not knowing that. Well, I'm sure they know at this point Mac has it, but you know, Sean kind of looking to get a dodge here, see if he can dodge it. Ken actually getting taken out, so a 4th, I think 3-4 right now for Team UK as Ken and Sean trying to come back here to break up their 3-4.
Ooh, Sean, okay. It does get triple reds. That's big here for to be able to maybe get onto Klein. A lot of straightaways here. Klein's maybe going to go for the item boxes here. Yeah, it seems like that's the case. Did they get it, though? Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah.
Oh, no.
And Barry going down. USA top. No. Don't.
Xander, we don't know what happened with Xander there. Xander, there may be obviously a bit of lag. We don't know if Xander passed at the end there, but they were just speeding up, running in the 90s. We're not going to find out until the results come up.
This is a little brutal, I will say. A little brutal here to be coming out from USA. If what we just saw is what we just saw, we might be having a bit of a GP1 that looks rather difficult for the United Kingdom. And I don't know, you know, how much they've been winning in this match. A top 4.
This is
God.
This is the podium you want to be sitting on if you're a Team USA right now, right? Like, you've got that one game win, you only need to win another one, you're starting the next war up, and you've got that hard lead, and you get top 4 on the 2nd race. It's not unwinnable for Team UK. Like I said, mental game. They've just got to shake it off, be like, doesn't matter. Like, okay, didn't work out. What can we do better?
Yeah.
And that's what they're going to need to do.
You know,
go ahead. Yeah, go for it, man. No, go for it.
I was going to say something completely underrated. I was just going to say, from a spectator standpoint, this is not what we want to see.
Oh my god!
No,
it's not what we want to see.
Here he goes again. Just get him started.
I was expecting you two to just wail on me and be like, "Yeah, coming home, huh?" But no, I appreciate the sympathy. Honest.
I want to see an interesting match. That's what I'm here.
I mean, look,
I'm not here for the sides. You know, I'm not picking sides here. I don't want one particular team to win. I just want to see good gameplay. That's what I'm about.
Donde está the good gameplay? I don't think we're not seeing it from the UK yet. What can I say? Delfino Square is maybe where we can start seeing it. A little bit of a reset track. Yeah, talk to us about it, bro.
More of like a front-running track. What do you mean?
My God.
No, I'm kidding. Yeah, definitely a really good reset track for Team UK here. The sun shines brightly on this track. you know, maybe they're like, we can get some of that. Anyway, their top 2 blowing out. I think it's a purposeful thing as they want these Trip Shrooms, Goldens, and Stars. So I've actually never seen that before where they're like, yeah, top 2 blow out.
Yeah.
So, kind of cool that they did it at the same time. It looks pretty sexy, not gonna lie. So, but we're gonna see UK seeing what they can do and see if they can get this shock to propel. But we're gonna see Klein with the kind of the perfect item you want lap 1 with those Trip Shrooms. And he's probably gonna hold that shroom in first now for a long time.
Yeah. Poor Klein. I think we're having some issues seeing Klein stream at least, but we'll at least include the perspective every now and oh, Xander doing damage there. And that's going to be UK with at least top 2. That red might be deadly. That bomb isn't deadly. That red isn't deadly. UK surviving for just another day.
And Xander was kind of just fat boy right there. He was like, yeah, let me just mega all of you guys. And kind of getting his team this breakaway, which is, you know, it can be a little sustainable here on Delfino Square, but again, like this shortcut is going to catch up runners so much here. But Klein going to be breaking away even more because of that shroom. But, you know, still just not down and out yet for Team USA. They can easily come back here. Kind of like the opposite of we were thinking of seeing. We were thinking of seeing like UK maybe play catch up, but now they're the ones front running on a mostly bag heavy track. So interested to see. We do see the bagger still going back, but I think one is trying to juke the other out. So a possible shock coming in from one of these teams here. Curious to see who it is, but for now we're going to see Klein in first. Actually gets blued, I believe, as I see the Funky spin out in first place. So not sure who took over there, but another blue for Team USA as Casper going to be holding this.
Okay.
Wow. 2 blues for Team UK. Oh my god.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Oh dear. These item pulls are not what you want to see if you are in Team UK's position right now.
I mean, that said, we still do see USA in some like kind of middle spots now. Sean and Flary holding it down, and yeah, shock's going to come out. At least
that's going to get Sean, which is very, very big for Sean. Hopefully that nets him a top 3 position.
Oh,
Flary. Oh,
that's
just unfortunate.
Super
stuck between a monkey and a hard place is what we call that one right there. Not a great pull from Flary though. Seeing Flary with a thunderclap before we saw Sean get, you know, completely, you know, shoved off the track there. So, mate, might not be as bad as we think. You never know. Ooh.
Close with the bill there.
Kind of a close call there.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how much it would affect it. You know, of course, there is potential for penalties where if, you know, if the bagger does hit one of the actual racers up at the front, it does incur up to a -20 penalty, but that is not what we're going to see there. And even if it did happen, yeah, most of the racers were already over anyway. So
it wouldn't have affected the end positions. But speaking of, I'm curious, we're going to need to see some top 2 from UK to bring it back top 4. The dodge from Sean coming in big. Really unfortunate for Flary there. Got chained into the boxes and pulled possibly one of the worst items to get on this track in that position at that time. So unfortunate for Flary there, but really, really good showing from the other racers there, managing to do massive damage. It's the small things that count, right? I mean, like, how big of a turnover of a race is that? It's a start, and we're still in GP1.
Yeah.
So they've got time to make these adjustments, make these changes.
And, you know, maybe they think, hey, if a luck track worked there, why wouldn't it work again? And I would love to see that from a personal standpoint.
I can't believe my man Broly just out in Delfino, just, dice roll course. I don't know how I feel about that.
That is a front-running track, you're right, but just from...
Exactly.
I'm for the people right now. I'm for the people saying, you know, it is a bagging track in most people's eyes, but in my heart, it's always a front-running track.
Gotcha. Well, what about this track? Is this front-run orient? Do we like this one? Is this just run it until your heart says no more? Or is this just what do you pull? Where do you pull it? Smiley face.
that is you literally put it in perfect words right now. What do you pull? When do you pull it? And you're gonna win the race. Pretty much. It comes down to 100% luck, I would say, and a little bit of skill making that rock hop.
Okay.
This is what I told you about. You've got to keep your eyes on Klein. This man does not care to get his hands dirty, and he knows that he can't afford to let these US players, you know, triple shrooms first set, do the rock hop, 2 shrooms in first. He just can't let that happen.
I think he did end up. I think he got Edison too, right? I think he missed Casper surely, but Edison at least, and he had like a 4th place, 5th place position box, which of course is possible to get triple shrooms in. So in the meantime, while all that is happening, Mac in last place, trying to go for the last place item. Now, there's a crucial decision here. These item boxes here, of course, it's past 30 seconds. It's possible to get a shock. Do you choose to stay there, or do you choose to use your shrooms to actually take a jump way backwards to actually make it further back into last place? But it seems like the decision from the baggers is to stay at those boxes and at least be going for the 10th, if not 9th place shock position. 5th place golden here for Sean.
This could be huge if he manages to make the rock hop without having to do the respawn, unless, of course, maybe they predict that there's going to be a shock coming out, but obviously neither bagger have actually touched the boxes, so we are seeing Mac choosing to opt to go further back, obviously favoring that 10th place position because it gives a higher chance. Not the item he's looking for. It's not going to be it. Team UK in not too bad of a spot I'm seeing right now. Obviously, US team 1-3, but this is the track where dreams can be broken in literally a matter of seconds. So it's all going to come down to this use of the respawn shortcut.
Okay.
It's gonna come here. UK has.
Yes,
Yeah,
it absolutely is.
There it is.
Now,
You
what's
called
going to
it,
happen
and there it
after? It looks like Xander's in
Big
second. Maybe get
Okay.
first. I think that's first. Yeah,
that's
yeah.
it. That is
Huge.
it.
1-3.
1-3-5-6. 1-3-5-6. Turning the tides. Literally like Moses in the ocean, just completely stirring the tide up and changing that outcome. USA in 1-3 before then. Interesting. Really interesting.
Yeah.
It came down to the baggers there. As you were talking about before, Eirik, it was like he had to make that decision whether to go back or maybe try to waste those shrooms. And he ended up getting a golden Mac, and for the split second that he was in 9th to go take that backward strat, it seemed like Jazz was able to get it there just by touching that one box. So unfortunate for Mac, Jazz able to get it there and help his team to a nice 1-3-5-6. Good race to get them back in here and kind of
Wow. Huge.
Yeah, no, a little bit worse than that. Yeah, I'm
Wow.
hearing some commodity of Ken, unfortunately. Ken having a bit of a hardship at the end there, so that's just going to give UK even more of an edge to completely undo the workings of that top 4 that we saw on the second race there. As we're seeing with Xander, look, Xander with that average. There you go. We were talking about the averages. Xander and Casper, both the highest scoring averages, but fantastic team play from all of them there.
Yeah, we didn't see that from Xander as much in the first 4 as a scored an 88, so did not break 40 at all actually in that first 4. So
Rare.
Yeah, really rare sighting from Xander there, but you know he's like back on my BS. I'm back here, ready to kill it once again. So,
what's
good
really
on Xander to pop off.
What was the largest deficit we saw? It was like, what, 42 points, I think it was, after 2 races? And look at that, right now, 126 to 118. UK bringing it back when they absolutely needed to. And I think, as we can note, the same GP score that we saw after GP1 of the last war.
Yeah, that's exactly identical as an 8-point deficit.
That's crazy. It's like you have to think, maybe did US get complacent after their top 4? But and it happens, honestly. It happens in a lot of wars that we see. Just they get some good races, like a top 3, 5, top 4 maybe. And then like maybe the next race they get a top 2, 4, and they're like, oh, we're smooth sailing after those 2 races. But there's 10 races to come back. 10 races to come back, and if you get complacent, it's gonna come back to bite you on the booty.
As like I said before, a wise man once told me, it's all still to play for. And there you go. UK coming in strong, making the adjustments needed to be made in a situation like that. Not letting that massive point deficit, shy them away and make them think, right, okay, this is all going downhill. They literally just turned it around. But we're going to see, like you said, Dry Ruins, a reset track, if I believe so, because of the ultra shortcut.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shortcut is
something of like a front running track too. Yeah, right. Like it's. I mean, certainly.
This track does it all.
A little bit of both. Yeah, I will say. Now, first place, so huge for anyone that can actually start off in it. It's so precious because like you can, as we just saw, Sean taking the sand hop there. It requires getting the right angle and being able to hop at the right time, which of course you can't afford to get bumped during that time, or else it's just all downhill from there. And if you're able to get this, you're able to just jump out ahead of the rest of the pack, and that's exactly what we see here from Sean and Casper. They will make no misuse of being able to get the quick start here for USA. Top 2 to start it off.
Yeah,
easy work.
Exactly what they wanted to see, but lap 2 is kind of when the game changes. It's when everybody gets the cut, when the pack is still close. this is kind of at the point where the pack usually starts to split up. As we see, it's actually still sticking pretty close, but looking like lap 3, and we do
Blue!
taking out Casper, trying to
And a
get
combo
combos.
to boot.
Oh my God.
My God, I can frankly barely tell what's happening, but it's the blue shell that's going to come out and at least wipe down 1, if not 2 members from the race. I don't know if it was necessarily another USA member, but for now, we do have Casper with that golden in 8th, and in the meantime, Klein, Mega in 2nd place, trying to catch up to Sean there, but we're going to have to stay with Casper here for now because this golden mushroom will be able to do some justice here for the USA side that so wrongfully had their... Okay, I was gonna say wrongfully had their top spots taken away, maybe reclaim it. Not the case here. Gets shocked in the sand, and we see Xander moving up there.
That's a really deadly shock spot. You know, only one person going for the cut, and that was Casper. And then Xander just changing his star and calling shock there. Really perfect for them as we see a top 2 for UK right now. Xander also not falling too far behind. I believe he's in 4th place. Sean kind of that hope for them. Making the wall glitch and just saying, hey guys, move out of the way. I'm just going to do a perfect wall glitch and take over 2nd place. So really good on him for doing that. But we're going to see US at least... Maybe Sean just getting last.
Yeah, Sean not getting the item. He needs to be able to take that end cut there, unfortunately. Possibly pulling like a red shell or a green or even the blue or something, which is obviously going to be unfortunate. But like you said, really, really fatal shot, getting Casper in the off-road, calling it for Xander and for Klein, and they just made it work. And Fleury was up there as well. So they're making the changes. They're making the adjustments necessary to pull this one back. And possibly swing it in their favor after that race.
Yeah, Sean kind of like pressuring them a lot up there, though. Yeah, he ends up in 2nd place just from taking a perfect wall glitch. That's kind of crazy because we did see the top 2 of Team UK. I believe it was like Fleury and Klein, and maybe one of them failed wall glitch or something. Fleury got first, so it wasn't him, but I think Klein may have failed the wall glitch, and Sean just kind of took over. But 1-3-4 regardless, really good race for Team UK. As that's I believe gives them the lead, if I'm not mistaken, or something close to
or
it.
very, very close, yeah, possibly. Still though, USA do not need to fear. They shouldn't be quivering in their boots at this. This is not something that they're unfamiliar to. They've had this before, where they've been in front, they've had a massive point deficit, and the other team have pulled it back. But what's so impressive about Team USA is that they're able to then just run it off again. We've seen it happen.
Definitely.
So,
but same thing for UK. I mean, getting top 4 and like also another thing, a lot of teams would be like so down on themselves after that, but the mentality super strong for them as they're able to come back with like, and they chipped away at the lead and already back in the lead at race 6 after getting top 4 on race 2. So, you know, props to UK right now as they're, they stepped it up. We said, hey, you guys got to step it up, and
they heard you. They heard you loud and clear in their Steam group voice call. They heard you. It bellowed through that voice call. Yeah. Another track I see very, very commonly among Team UK. Xander, a massive fan of this track. Really enjoys the strategy that goes behind this one. What do you guys think? Was this the right play? Is this what UK need to keep, pressing their lead on?
I guess iffy, right? Because like they had top decent spots, right? And like to go beat Guardians into this one, I don't know. I mean, you're losing those top spots because unless they slow down at the beginning. Either way, we do see Mac here in the bagging duel going to get a 9th place box at 29 seconds. Ideal for them. They're going to be able to get at Golden to be able to shroom on up to 10th place, take the shortcut going backwards, and be able to have the 10th place advantage for getting the first box possible to get the Lightning Bolt. So, really huge for USA here, especially as the nice POW dodge coming in from Sean.
Wow. Not sure if that was the US POW that was coordinated, like I've got 2 shrooms, you got to get me over the stairs, or if that was just coincidence from Team UK, but really exactly what Sean was looking for right there, as he now finds himself in the exact position that Xander was in the previous war that we saw. But the question is Blue Shell going to come like it did in the last one?
Yeah, and we see the bagging battle. We see Mac really far behind, Jazz falling even further. He's still going backwards, so maybe could have it as he just gonna keep going back to see if they use a second one. But for now, Mac gonna be falling off with that bullet bill. And going into lap 3, we do see Klein here. We see, I believe, a 3-6 from Team UK right now. Not really sure who's in the top 2. I think Sean in 2nd. but unable to see who's in first place right now. But kind of a jumble of spots right now, and I'm intrigued to see what the Shock will do here.
Blue Shell, I think we just saw. Yeah.
There it is.
And
Here
Thundercloud.
comes.
Oy, that's the Shock. That's a cancel we'll probably see, right? So it has to be probably UK top 2 and a UK Shock probably. But that TC pass is so big for them. But it goes back.
Oh no!
And it's over. Casper.
Oh.
And that might be it for Casper unless they're able to get something good. But it's a golden mushroom coming out for them. Can they grow up in time to be able to pass any members of UK? Can USA bring anything of this back? But it's UK in 3, 4, 5. Avoids the fizz, but it's not enough. USA 6, 7, 8. And UK are saying, no, we have something left in us here. It is not just game 1 and done after that. Peach Gardens apparently was the track pick for some reason. I don't know how it was, but Jazz gets the Shock, cancels the blue. Everything going good for UK on that race.
Really great prime example of that beautiful 2008 netcode we're seeing there with that Thundercloud pass. For those a little bit unfamiliar, if you collide with another player on your screen, the game does not care.
Oh.
Also, Ken breaking that top 4. Imperative. But still going to be a pretty tough beating in one race.
That
And managing to spin it. Really, like, this is a complete polar swing from what we're used to seeing.
I think maybe the first big race for UK that, like, you know, absolutely dominating in the sense that we've, you know, been kind of looking for this entire time. And I wonder at this point, are we going to be able to see this build up, this kind of momentum build up from here? The score now, UK up by 28 points, I think. We'll get that updated for you shortly, but such a change around from the pace again that we've seen. And I'm really curious to see what they pick from here. Moo Moo Meadows and DK Mountain apparently being the pick.
I agree with both of these choices from both teams, but it's gonna. Okay, US clutching it out with the Moo Moo. I honestly think that would have gone catastrophically had it have landed on DK Mountain because of the positions that they're in. DK Mountain being so front running and Jazz just nailing these shock pulls so far. So this is exactly what they need. They need to turn this around in this moment here. They can't let UK run away with it in the way that they've kind of been doing the past couple of races. They want to be able to stay in it.
Yeah, we've seen this kind of over multiple wars, kind of a common USA reset pick. And it's been working out for them over and over again. We do see him in the top spots. Casper narrowly avoiding that green shell, getting super close to him. But guys, what do you think is kind of like the strat to do here? Because I feel like you can definitely run this track and stay in the front for most of it, especially like that with a bomb separating the pack. Like,
yeah,
100%.
I mean, he did get Sean in it, but yeah, generally front running is not too bad a strat, I would feel like, right? It just depends on the battle in the back. Like, it is a very short track, so it's very difficult to get that shock. But if you can get it, can do a number. Oh my goodness, that's, I think, a UK blue.
It's got to be, hasn't it? Yeah, because Fleury being the sole UK representative up here in second place gets him back to first. I think the best strategy here is to have a bit of diverse representation, right? Oh, we're seeing a shock pull from Mac right now, much like we saw last time. This could be big. This could be exactly what USA needs.
Sean getting exactly what he needs as he has that star in 7th. Gonna be chaining it here. I'm expecting a shock 100% here. But Sean actually using Bill. Sean actually used the Bill.
Okay, smart, yeah.
They are rotating their dodges perfectly right now, looking to not have their shock used, but it's not gonna be enough because we do see them in 5, 6, 7. So if Fleury was able to hold that first place, it'll be a good race. Edison dying at the line a little bit though, so could have been a jumble of spots. I'm curious to see if Fleury was able to hold that first place though, as he was kind of that lone hope for Team UK, but really good on Team UK to rotate their dodges to the point where Sean was unable to dodge and neither of Team USA was able to dodge as well. So 3 dodges coming out from Team UK. And unfortunately, if they had shock, it was a top 4. It would have been insane if they had shock there.
Yeah, Mac pulling the shock there. Actually, even though it's not really making the most out of it, it was actually their saving grace, because sometimes it's not even about using it. No, see Fleury not in first place at the end. They're seeing a top 2 from US. So Mac getting that shock, imperative. And it's unfortunate that Sean didn't really benefit from his star, but him being back there and forcing UK to cycle through their dodges like that ended up working out for them. So another fine example of a team getting a shock, and the best play is no play. And that's not something we often see. We don't often see that, to be honest.
Yeah,
especially on movement.
Yeah, like I said before, it is a runnable track, and that's exactly what happened there. We saw the USA members just break away, and there really was no need to use shock. I imagine that they were gonna try to maybe force it there if nobody else was in a dodge, but as you said before, holding it just kind of paid off for Team USA there, as they were able to get that top 2-5. Now going into a Moonview Highway,
Another track where
very good track pick.
Just hold it again, right?
Yeah, it's Moonview Highway. I mean, we've talked about it before. We talked about it last match. We'll talk about it again. Why not? Race 8 here. We'll get you a score update momentarily, but for now, Moonview Highway. Hectic as hell at the beginning. That golden mushroom is going to be huge if it can get it. It's going to be triple shrooms instead, but you'll take it. And they'll be able to take those shrooms, move it up into 4th place. And I think that's a USA top 4. Is that what I'm seeing right now at the beginning?
Yeah. That's exactly what you're seeing.
Yeah, that's exactly. It was Xander coming up to close that gap, realizing cannot. Ooh,
wow.
That's not going to be good. Not sure if that was lag or him being pushed in. Ooh,
yeah.
I think that's going to make too much.
That won't make too much of a difference, I don't think.
What I was going to bring up just there was just like, trolling penalty, anyone? Trolling penalty?
No, I don't think so. If
He made him pay he made him pay the toll
dude.
at the toll booth. That was it. It was like, you got to pay your toll. That's literally it. I don't know.
No, it wouldn't make it. It's not gonna be trolling. I don't think. I think if he oh, and he forgot that the Nana was there. It gets gets squished by the car as well. So Sean getting lucky with that golden in 5th, but unfortunately did not have the presence of mind to remember that Nana was there. But we're still seeing a 2-3. Sean able to hold that 2nd place. But going back to the trolling, I don't think it will be, because it's happened so many times in that same spot where baggers run right into runners, and they do get trolling, but that's if they're pushed into a car or a bomb. So he just kind of got pushed into the stall with the boost pad right next to him. Mac with the shock in 9th, actually. So gonna be kind of deadly for Team UK, I think. But you know, racers are going onto the boost pad, so I would expect the shock to come right here, maybe like a chain or something. But it doesn't seem like that's going to be happening quite yet, as we do see 2-3 still from Team USA. 4th place for Klein. Could be a possible dodge coming in at the line, but for now, Edison, in that mega, going to be looking like a 2-3-4.
All right, Klein stream, I think, dying at the very end, so we'll get a replay here as to what happened. It's USA in 2-3, Xander up in 1st. I think the clutch stat, Blue Shell does come out the end. Oh, that's going to be very unfortunate. Casper getting blued up there. I couldn't tell.
He in front of the line. Yeah, no, that's it.
Yeah, I think it did it.
Jumping on the line.
Oh
God, yeah.
My dreams are made and broken.
Casper and Klein, good.
No, yeah, Casper and Klein. I was going to say, like, they having a bit of a back and forth at the end. That blue shell, I don't know if it made it.
I think it did. It looked like it did, man. Other than that, you got pushed into a lorry. I don't know. Ooh.
No,
good race.
barely made it.
Hey,
okay, you could, yeah. They still win it. I think by what, like a little bit, not too much, but it's still a race win. You were up by 15 before, and now you're up by 15 and some change.
I can't believe Casper and Klein still got 3-4 after all that just happened there on the line. I think we saw Casper getting blued, and then like Klein and him had like a play date into a bomb car or something, or a car in general or something. I had no idea what happened, but still able to maintain 3-4. But yeah, really good race, I think, for UK. Still able to expand that lead a little bit. And guys, is the Klein sub paying off? Am I eating my words from race 1 right now? What is happening?
I thought you'd enjoy the meal, my man. Honestly, I cooked it up just for you out of the oven. Fresh lasagna made specifically for you.
Is that what
I really... I really liked what Sean did. I want to give him credit, give him a bit of a shout out there, because obviously to a lot of people it's just like, why did you stop, grab the shroom, and just go full speed of blazing into a truck? Like, why did you do that? You can kind of negate the shroom boost if you kind of like, as you're hitting it and it's accelerating your speed, you kind of like jump spam, you hop your way. So he realized that being hit by that green was not what he needed, and he needed to ensure that he had a top spot still, because UK were coming up. Just ever so slightly miscalculated that. So it's really unfortunate, but we all make mistakes like that. I know I have. So
did Xander break 40?
Good question.
I think he did.
Yeah. If Xander's unlocking it right now, they need it. I mean, we talk about the points that UK are getting individually. He certainly stays up there for a constant reminder as to how deadly of a player he is.
Yeah, definitely coming back in this one. Maybe he just needed that first war to warm up a little bit. Maybe shot count's a little more even in this one, making a little bit of a difference. But, you know, I feel like every time, Eirik, you or whoever is controlling the POVs, whoever pans over to max POV, I'm always seeing a lightning bolt. So that could be a little bit of a curse right there, Eirik.
This is true. This is true. You know, any UK fans, you can maybe bribe our producer to not pan over his position.
Because every time I see the Mac POV, it's a shock. Just every time.
Yeah.
Just wants to let you know that he has it, man. That's just it.
Back to the race, going to be seeing Maple Treeway. Kind of that nice 1-3 track that USA was hoping for with the host. But Casper, you know, getting that mega, but getting pushed into the Wiggler. So going to be seeing some UK spots up there. Also, I believe it's Klein getting taken out a little bit of lag, actually. So going to be seeing what's going to happen on this bridge. I believe Casper will stop Trophy UK members behind him, but does not opt to for it. We do see a lot of his members behind him, so it's going to be looking good for UK right now.
React to that.
Yeah, how do you react to that?
God.
Legend. He knew. He was waiting for it. That was it.
Ooh, top two going to be taken. I know Sean's getting taken out by this blue shot right after this cannon.
Yeah.
He's gonna get him on this turn. I think he's gonna deliberately throw it now, so it's gonna get him on this awful turn where if he gets blued and he gets tapped, he is gone.
And well, we'll get a replay of that right
We're
now.
about to watch that. We're about to watch the disaster unfold in front of our very eyes. So treated right now. Yeah, this turn. Oh, okay. Okay, he makes it. Never mind. That's better than what I thought. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Ooh,
no.
that was not better than you.
Commentator's curse. Take that back. Undo. Rewind.
Oh, Klein forcing the start of Ken there. Really good. I don't know how the bagging match is, right? But there's not many stars you can be holding out once, a max of 3. So to be able to force the USA spots, we have 3 out of the bottom 4 spots being all USA. Really important to be stopping their dodges.
I feel like none of the baggers actually have it because both of them are still just sitting there. At this point, you know, we would see one going forward, trying to get themselves away maybe, or maybe they're playing really good mind games and someone actually does have it. But no, we did see one bagger just fall off. I believe the other one. Oh, and we do see a shot come out. And interesting to see, I believe it's a UK shot.
Yeah.
From Crest getting shocked out. So majority of UK members getting shocked in their Klein, also dodging in a star before the cannon. We see a top 3 right now for Team UK from the perspective of Klein. And it's looking like a really good race for Team UK right now.
It is. We did hear the blue shell coming out at the ending frames of that perspective. That's going to be Sean getting blued there. UK still holding on the top 2. And if they hold top 2, that's all they really need to finish this one off okay. Still guarantee the race win. Will that be it? Edison behind them, a connoisseur of snipes, but it's not going to happen. Edison getting backspin at the very end. We're going to see it again. Sean in 4th. Edison in HD 720p. We'll see it here getting back running, and that is going to be USA getting 3, 4, 5 maybe, I think, and then 8th, probably.
Did you see that red and where Edison were
on
Sean's screen? That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Edison was not there, man.
That was ridiculous.
It might have been the red, like, kind of dragging. Like, sometimes reds do funny things, especially when they're on inclines, where they kind of, like, move as, like, normally it's supposed to just go backwards, but sometimes it moves left to right while being backspin on those areas. Either way, UK, top 2-5. Big on them. I mean, obviously, not the biggest race win, right? But it keeps it going for them.
It's still
we commentators curse Xander. We curse Xander. He gets 8th place that race. He's being tamed right now. He got a little tamed that race. But, you know, the rest of his team really just kind of showing up and getting that top 2-5. Unfortunate blue shell and Sean there at the end, you know, forces him to get that 5th place. But still, really good race for UK and going to be expanding that advantage. And guys, where do you think USA needs to go now to kind of, like, what track would you pick in USA shoes, a top 2-5 for UK? What track do you think they need to go to come back?
N64 Mario Raceway.
I agree. Honestly, personally, I think they should pick VC3. They got top 4 on it.
Yeah,
I don't see why not. I think that's the track they need to get in to get back in with it.
But they heard what you said earlier, Eirik, and they know how much you love the waterfall aquatics, so we're going back to Cooper Cape.
Apparently.
And I just hear him groan in the background like
against all the better wisdom of anyone that had taste, we will be going on Koopa Cave. It is a notably 31-point deficit here for the United Kingdom. And they will be able to, you know, as long as they don't have anything catastrophic, knock on wood, they should be able to keep this going. But 3 races left, anything can happen. And Sean getting back-trailed by Klein. Brilliant backspam, or holding an item.
Yeah, but I mean, 31's nothing. That's a top 4-9. That's literally a top 4-9 for Team USA. If they get that here, they are tied. So it absolutely still close. You know, baggers doing their normal strats. Mac dropping a star first place Casper. That's just kind of like the typical strat to do. You see a fib in the waterfall. Also like a nice thing for a first place person to do. But we do see the pack still relatively close. So I think a lot of shrooms going to be used here to catch up. But Casper's still going to be maintaining that first.
Now, it is a golden for Sean right now, but we'll see that mini-map. It might look close to you, really not too close. The golden should be able to at least bridge the gap a little bit between Sean and the remaining folks here, but it should at most get him into 5th, I think. Yeah, still behind the top 4, as they're going to be able to get at least maybe a decent item there in 5th place, but we'll see. In the meantime, Casper in first, another star here for Casper, and no shock for the USA side. That's the bagger going to be able to drop that for them. And I wonder what that says about Jazz and what they're maybe holding. Obviously, we can't see it quite yet, but if Mac has been focusing on just star dodges, period, then it might be a good sign for the UK side as they try to move up here. But now, it's the last lap. 1, 3, 4. Will it be? No, it's not going to be a blue shell, at least for the UK, as I was about to suggest. USA holding on to first for a while.
And Xander taking the cut here, going to be getting back into 2nd place, but I think this is going to be an overall really good race for US. I don't see the baggers aren't touching boxes. So it looks like that was a deadly
that
fib
might
on
got it
Xander.
down, I think
Yeah,
so.
that
Too
could be a
big
top
in
3 for US.
Yeah.
And
Looking
another
like
star, but Casper,
Leave it for the
leaving
next
it.
game.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
yeah.
get 2nd and 3rd. He's gotten 2, you know, he doesn't need any more. Let his teammates get a taste of the glory right there.
And they
Second.
for 3rd place.
Sean
and
in
that's a top
3rd.
3.
Okay.
Maybe Sean Tanny, though, taking over there at the end on Sean. It could have been just a top 2-4 or a top 3. That's actually a huge point swing if they are able to get that top 3 for Team USA. But no shock. Shockless race, and we didn't see the baggers even going for boxes on that lap 3. They were both just sitting in the tunnel, opting to drop stars. And, you know, I don't think I've ever seen that before where one bagger drops 3 stars for his teammates and it ends up paying off. That's kind of crazy. Usually we would see a shock there at some point.
Sean stealing 3rd place.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's huge for them. That's, what is it, 35, 38. Okay, 38-point race win for USA East there. That's, I believe, a victory by 15 points. Cuts their deficit down to 16 points. 2 races left. And what that 2nd place does, it changes it from, I believe, what would have been a 20-point victory versus the 16-point victory it ended up being, which, look, it could very much matter.
We've seen that matter in matches before.
Yeah,
we've seen it firsthand. So absolutely, any points is brownie points at this point.
Yeah,
and it's going back to that conversation. Do you think the UK are now getting complacent with their lead? Do you think it was kind of the USA at the beginning of the match, and now maybe the UK is kind of saying, "Oh, you know, we already won this one, on to the next one." But that is definitely not the case. The score is just getting closer and closer, and we're in for a fun match in these last 2 races, guys.
yeah.
I don't think they're getting complacent, man. I think it's just circumstantially, some of the iron pool has been really good from the US, and obviously Kubicate, another track where you just want to get up there, and that race was literally proof is in the pudding. You saw that, like US got the top positions, Max just dropped stars, and there wasn't anything UK could do without use of the shock really on that track, because you just can't. Whereas this track, on the other hand, we saw last time in the previous matchup, Luke just deciding, you know what, chill out guys, I'm out, and just doing a time trial. But obviously Luke not here, so we're not going to be seeing something like that. But it's going to come down to, I think, are we going to see another shockless race on Mushroom Gorge? That's the real question that I have for you guys.
That wouldn't be fun. That just wouldn't be fun from a spectator's perspective. Because right here, this little valley where these mushrooms are, that's where everything goes down. A shock could happen. We could see everybody getting TS. Oh, that was a close game. Hello, how you doing today?
Yeah. Oh,
Nice
okay.
snipe.
Yeah,
Flurry.
beautiful snipe on Flurry. That's going to give them at least a top 2 here. Maybe back spam anytime soon? No? Okay, fine. Still a Shroom in second place for Casper, and very comfy for them to hold on to here. But, oh, in the meantime, shot! No, that's Dez! Huge star pull just in time. And now it's going to be Jazz winning in the bagging back battle.
Plays. That was ginormous. What a play. And our producer just pans over to Mac, and he does have the shock, but this time we finally see Jazz hitting it out of him, and now Jazz in last place looking to get that shock for his team. But Casper, we still see Casper in first place, and Sean actually holding blue. So, but we're seeing a 3-4-5 from Team UK looking to, and they're close.
Notice one thing though.
Place.
Notice one thing though. Mac started going forward in 9th place. I don't know what that says about his, if he ended up pulling the shot. Yeah, he did. He pulled it in 9th to the detriment of UK, and it's UK in 3-4-5. We'll see what ends up happening here. It's a blue shell for them that they can maybe use at the last second to maybe time it so it just gets UK.
Bill,
Target shot.
Yes, on 2 of their members. Sean actually dodging the bill, but yeah.
That
Ken getting
Ken gets target shocked. Wait. Okay. I don't know what happened. I don't know.
I know it's a 6-8 at least from UK and a 5-7 for Team USA. That's what I learned from the end there.
I just don't know. I just don't know.
It's a team match. Like, this is teams, right?
This is teams.
I don't think so.
This is teams.
First team, right? This is US versus UK. No.
That shock would have you thinking.
They TS2 of them. It TS2 UK members, I thought, and it also got Ken. Maybe I missed something there in the shortcut, but it's a 1-4. 1-4 for UK.
Show the receipts. Who were the 2? What? I didn't see that at all. I just saw Ken respawning.
Yeah. I thought I saw Flary and Klein going for it, but I think they got Klein after. That's what happened.
Yeah.
Klein took the cut. Klein actually made the cut, and they missed the TS on him. So it was detrimental for the US because that could have been a top 2. Like 4, like probably something huge for them, but instead they missed Klein, and Klein getting first. Klein would have had like 7th or 8th if he got TS there. That's crazy.
What happened to Ken though? Did Ken make the cut, or did he fail the cut and they used it after? Or did he?
Maybe
he had to have failed.
Yeah,
he had to have.
Them nerves, dude. Those grand final nerves kicking in.
I mean, you got what? A total of like 12,000 people watching you. I mean, I don't blame you.
It's been very interesting to see the kind of takes that some people have about people's racing when they've maybe raced in front of 10 people at most. I think I've seen some really interesting takes. Either way, we have it's a score of 329 to 342 for our teams here. Last race. Can UK clutch it out? It's going to go to this Toads Factory race. Our baggers are going to have to go for that 9th place position shock, or just hope that someone messes up in bagging and gives them a 10th place shock, or hope that one of their racers is able to get that 8th place bill, which greatens the possibility of getting that shock in both of those positions. So
definitely, and I've kind of talked about this race multiple times where the part at the beginning before the jump kind of decides how the race will go. I've eaten my words multiple times saying that, but it's also been true. If you see somebody that's in the top 2, they may not lose that top 2 spot unless to a blue shell or something. But we've also seen Casper getting taken out by that random green is deadly because he cannot take the cut. He needs to catch a nice pull for Sean there with that mega. Going to be useful if his team has a shock. Also curious to see who has the build, because that is a big part. If one team knows that they have the build, their bagger can just willy-nilly go for boxes. And we do see somebody using the build. It was Flary, so having to use it, maybe getting redded there. And you have to question, maybe he should have held it. Maybe he shouldn't have used it there, as it plays a huge advantage, especially when you dodge. But for now, we see a UK top 3, but nobody else. And we do see a lap 2 shock for Team USA, needing that shock to get them back into this. As
that gets Sean out of the mega!
Oh, no.
I mean, God, that's so bad for them. They needed that. I mean, obviously, oh my God, Sean, you are ridiculous. You are ridiculous.
They needed that. Well, there you go. You have it now. Perfect. Amazing. Right, off we go.
Everything has changed from the last 2 laps that we just saw. Lap 3 coming into it, and it's a massive cluster. 6th place golden for Sean. Are you kidding me? Starts goldening up here on the left side.
But no, we see Jazz in last still though, because Mac did go forward to avoid that. We see a blue shell coming out on Ken. Ken getting pushed off as well, I think. Or no, maybe
he dodged it. He dodged it.
Yeah. He dodged it. Yeah.
2 bombs.
Top 3 and the bomb. No way.
Top 3 USA. This could be it. The big comeback that we've been seeing. It's
They need the shock.
No shock coming in. One
It's
green
not
back.
gonna happen. I don't think it's gonna happen, and I think USA might actually just take this.
They. I think they did it. I think they did it. I think that's
Top
it.
3.
I think USA just won off that.
No
that shock.
way.
We'll get it
The lap
confirmed
2
soon.
shock.
But yeah, that
Oh
lap
my
2 shock.
God.
What? I mean, thoughts on lap 2 shocks generally? Like, do they? I guess TF is a good course for it, right?
Yeah, it definitely depends on the track. I think that was perfect because they target shocked like 3 of them on the shortcut actually. We see a top 3-7 for Team USA, and this could be curtains for Team UK unless a trolling penalty or some sort.
That's 20 collectively for Team UK, right?
I think that's a USA
Yeah,
East win. We do see a table,
For
370 to 362.
Congratulations to the USA for a last race clutch win on their part. What, like, they were down by 13 points and to win by 8 at the very end? Are you kidding me? Wow. Absolutely steal it away from
Insane.
UK. That has to be heartbreaking for UK.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they were in the lead for like those last 5 to 11 races, and
More than that.
man, unfortunate. Yeah, more than that. And Sword, you must be devastated right now. I have to ask you, how do you feel?
I just can't believe what I just watched unfold in front of my eyes. I think, not to sound salty, but I think the stars were shining bright on old, Lady Liberty in the US right there. Honestly, what makes that is the back green on Sean, losing his mega so they both don't dodge, puts him in a really bad spot. They needed those dodges. They shot people over the lake, and the game just giving the chain of the mega and the golden. But not to discredit him. He'd been having pretty bad pot luck throughout the whole thing. But it's just seeing that unfold in that moment when he needed it most on that last race with that, he needs that point deficit to make up. And